why we have the nucleus of a real fine ball club on the New York Mets.
The 0-2 pitch. He's struck him out.
The New York Mets' success certainly has been a great team effort.
In the air, deep right center field. It's out of here! Out of here!
Is gone goodbye.
And it is a fly ball. It'll be tough to get to.
Diving! Home run! Makes the catch! What a play! Unbelievable! Takes for third. He's got an RBI triple, and the Mets have tied the game at 4.
Why, they're the most amazing fans that I've ever seen in baseball.
Possibly saved 5 runs in this game.
The payoff pitch on the way. Strike 3! It has happened!
The ball game. Look at the New York Mets. Look at the fans. It's absolute bedlam.
At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Los Angeles Dodgers. Tonight's special broadcast from the Citi Pavilion is presented to you by Citi. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Citi, the proud presenting partner of Global Citizen Festival. Citi, welcome What's Next. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. By Verizon, chosen by experts, chosen by you. And by DraftKings, play for the biggest prizes in fantasy sports on DraftKings. Well, talk about a career day yesterday. What can you do for an encore after a sweep of the Diamondbacks? Mets are getting set for a very different kind of challenge. What are you waiting for? Well, you're waiting for the best team in the National League to come calling. The Los Angeles Dodgers are in town. They've already clinched the National League West for the 7th consecutive year, and they're just riding out the storm, getting ready for October. We are out amongst the crowd tonight in the Citi Pavilion out in right center field for a big game tonight. And a welcome to the broadcast booth. Gary Cohen, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling with you tonight as the Mets open a 3-game weekend series against the Dodgers. A real proving ground for the Mets tonight against the team with the best record in the National League.
Well, they have been the dominant team in the National League for so long and just dominating this year. You see the 7th straight NL West title. They've run away with it this year. Their pitching is solid. They've got the front runner in Cody Bellinger for the MVP of the National League, having a career year. Also take note too, this ball club is 21-9 against the National League East. As you said, Gary, the Mets have their work cut out for them. It's a great pitching matchup the entire weekend.
And it all starts tonight with Noah Syndergaard on the mound for the Mets, looking to rebound from a rough one his last time out.
Yeah, and a different start in that game. 5 innings, allowed 4 runs against the Phillies. He and Wilson Ramos will try to get in tune tonight.
On the other side, the best pitcher of his generation, Clayton Kershaw, who has never lost a regular season game to the Mets.
And I don't think it's a contest. 166 career wins, but he has lost his last 3 starts.
So it's the Mets and the Dodgers big weekend series. 16 to play. The Mets 2 out in the wild card race, facing the team with the best record in the National League. It's the Mets and Dodgers. All the action coming up on SNY. On SNY is brought to you by Citi, the proud presenting partner of Global Citizen Festival. Citi, welcome What's Next. By Chase, financial freedom takes planning. Talk to your J.P. Morgan advisor and plan yourself free. And by Aetna Better Health of New Jersey, healthcare provider of the game, neighborhood health services. For more information, visit nhscnj.org. This is your last chance to welcome back Brandon Nimmo this homestand with a special offer. Now through Sunday, you can enjoy $9 Promenade outfield tickets as the Mets take on the Dodgers. Get your tickets at Mets.com/Nimmo. Your Indeed player profile tonight. Clayton Kershaw, 8-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, not pictured, Gold Glove winner as well in 2011. Oh, it says that at the bottom. I didn't read far enough. He's pretty good. And the Mets will try and contend with him tonight. Join Verizon up to score Mets tickets, concerts, and more rewards you really, really want. It's free to join in the My Verizon app and exclusively for Verizon customers. Big weekend of baseball. New York, L.A. Mets in need of victories. Dodgers coasting home. First pitch coming right up. Well, 2 years ago, Cody Bellinger took the National League by storm. He was the National League Rookie of the Year. He took a step back last year, but Bellinger at age 24 has returned with a vengeance in 2019, playing a Gold Glove outfield. and leading most people's ballots in the early consideration for most valuable player. No Winter leads the Dodgers into Citi Field tonight. Noah Syndergaard getting set to face the Dodgers for the second time this season. And if you're a left-hand hitter, this is what it looks like. Ooh, that was hard to hit. Here's your Hyundai starting lineup for the Dodgers. They'll go with mostly left-hand hitters against Syndergaard. They've got about 17 position players who might make the postseason roster, and they're giving a couple of young players, particularly Gavin Lux, a look. Just his 9th start as he plays second base and hits 7th.
There's the Toyota numbers for Syndergaard. The Dodgers saw him all the way back in May, at the end of May 29th, when he gave up 3 runs in 6 innings, was in line for the win.
Mets were in position to win. They were up 8-3 in the 7th. Bullpen let it get away. Mets lost 3 out of 4 in that series in LA, but they certainly could have won 3 of 4. Jock Peterson leads off and fouls off the first fastball from Syndergaard, and we're underway. It has cooled down significantly, 66 degrees at game time. Wind out of the southeast about 13 miles an hour, blowing from left across toward right, which means the wind is at our back.
Nice.
We're very happy about tonight out in right field. Syndergaard gets it inside on Peterson, and he fouls it off, and it's 0-2.
And we'll take a look at your Lexus defense for the Metropolitans. Wilson Ramos behind the plate. Todd Frazier, left-hander, he's red hot at third base. Lagares, the Gold Glover, but also a career day yesterday out in center field. And look at the Cubs. They were down 4-0 in the first in that game.
Wind is blowing out at Wrigley Field today. Cubs have already hit 5 home runs, or is it 6 home runs?
Who knows?
Including Nick Horner hitting his first big league home run.
Well, this Dodger team is first in runs, first in home runs, walks, slugging percentage, and second in on-base percentage. They are an offensive juggernaut, powerhouse.
Most runs scored, fewest runs allowed. It's a pretty good combination.
That always works.
And that's why they've won 95 and lost only 53. 1-2 coming to Peterson, and he chops one down to first. Todd Frazier playing first base tonight, and he makes the play for the first out of the night.
Of course he is going to get the first play of the night.
Only his second start at first base this year, but the 84th of his career as Pete Alonso gets a night off. Pete's been playing day in and day out for a month and a half. He has struggled the last couple of days, so Callaway figured this would be a good night for him to get his last game off in 2019. Here's Max Muncy, just activated off the injured list today. Rather remarkable. He fractured his wrist just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the 28th of August.
And back in there tonight. Muncy having another good year, following up his shocking breakout season last year. Muncy at age 28 last year really hadn't accomplished much at the major league level. Hit 35 home runs, and he's followed it up with 33 home runs and 87 RBIs this year. He's got a brace on that right wrist. I think it remains to be seen how well he's going to be able to swing the bat with it, but he wanted to test it out tonight. There's that brace. He says he's not 100%, but the Dodgers are in experimental mode right now. This is one of the things they need to find out, whether Muncy needs more time.
They're going to have some extremely talented everyday players that are not going to make the postseason roster.
A lot of versatility under Dave Roberts. They can move people around on an everyday basis.
4 titles in his first 4 years. That's pretty good.
Good change up by Syndergaard to get even on Muncy 2-2.
Well, with this left-handed lineup, 1 through 5, all left-hand hitters, and some power in there. 3 big power hitters. Syndergaard's going to have his secondary pitches operating for him tonight.
Particularly that changeup against the lefties. 7 left-hand batters in the lineup, and he blows away Muncy for the second out. So set him up with the changeup, struck him out with the fastball. First strikeout of the night for Noah.
Yeah, he didn't get that in where he wanted it, in off the plate, but the ball had a lot of run on it, and of course he's always north of 98. That helps too.
just over a strikeout per inning this year. 2 out and nobody on. Now the rookie Matt Beatty. This is one of those experimentations, right? Beatty, we saw he had just come up when the Mets were in L.A. He's played some first base, some left field. Tonight he's playing third base, starting there for only the 4th time. Justin Turner has an ankle sprain. He's here with the Dodgers, but Dave Roberts said before the game Justin will not play this week.
Yeah, mild left ankle sprain. They believe he'll be back in the lineup Tuesday at home against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Which is probably okay. From a Mets standpoint, Justin has a habit of tormenting his old team. 1-1 to Beatty. The Dodgers just keep bringing up these guys who were not first-round draft picks, whether it's Bellinger or Beatty or
Taylor 2 years ago.
I mean, these guys, they just seem to hit the ground running when they get to the big leagues. And Beatty's an example of that. Slashes one foul, and it's 1-2.
They've got 3 hitting coaches, Keith. I mean, that's a lot, but it's working out,
I guess. Well, I don't know how to address that. That's a lot of information to process. But, you know, getting back to what the Dodgers do, even when they make their trades, players come over and perform.
The one thing they've been able to do, though, is they have been able to, in my opinion, scout their own system, and they've kept their best players even though they've made trades.
And they've reworked guys' swings. I mean, Chris Taylor's a great example of that. Gavin Lux, the rookie second baseman, a kid who was a contact hitter in college. Now he's a power hitter. Will Smith, same thing.
Yep.
1-2 on the way. And the changeup misses. 2-2 to Beatty.
I mean, perfect night to pitch tonight. No humidity at all, or doesn't feel like it.
Perfect night to play when you're an everyday player, going all summer in the humidity. And then that September coolness comes and you get a shot in the arm.
2-2 from Syndergaard. And that one misses low, full count. Cody Bellinger would be next. And Syndergaard knows that. Beatty had a couple of hits off Noah when they faced off in L.A. back in May. Beatty went 4 for 11 in that series, drove in a couple of runs. It was kind of a coming out party for him. 3-2 on the way, and he bounces one out to Rosario, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Noah Syndergaard. Strikeout and a couple of ground balls. Mets come to bat with no score. Lovely night out by LaGuardia. We don't show that shot very often.
Nice.
Nice look. Geico starting lineup for the Mets tonight. We mentioned night off for Pete Alonso. So Jeff McNeil will hit third. J.D. Davis will take Alonso's spot in the 2-hole. Mets have 3 left-hand hitters in there, plus Syndergaard against Clayton Kershaw tonight.
Then roll the numbers for Kershaw this season. I said he lost his last 3 starts, but still outstanding numbers for what Gary said, and I think it's true. The greatest pitcher of his generation.
6.19 ERA in those 3 starts. Rosario hits the first pitch on the ground. Corey Seager circles in to get him. Close play at first, but he got him. 1 away. 1 pitch and 1 out.
And the Dodger defense presented by Citi. Max Muncy just back in the lineup. He gets his 36th start at first base. He bounces around the infield, kind of a jack of all trades. Cody Bellinger, they tell me, he's played right field, he's played left, he's played center, he played first base. He'd be a Gold Glove in all 4 positions if he was stuck in one position.
He might win the Gold Glove in right field anyway, because he shows off those tools wherever he plays. I think he's got to win Gold Glove in right field this year, which is the position he's played more than any other.
Terrific arm, accurate.
Here's J.D. Davis, and he takes a fastball strike from Kershaw. J.D. 4 for 10 in the series against the Diamondbacks. .317 hitter against lefties this year. Hasn't given much away against righties either. He has had himself a breakout season. Probably the best surprise on this team. Nice shot from the top of the scoreboard. Ball and a strike to J.D. Kershaw, 14 career starts against the Mets in the regular season, 9-0 with a 2.14 ERA. That's good, right?
Yeah, very good.
Bounces the curveball 2-1. However, the Mets did beat him in Game 1 of the division series in 2015. He won in Game 4, and then the Mets won the series in Game 5.
That was one of the biggest games he's pitched in his career, that Game 4, to get it back to Los Angeles. Grom took over then.
Of course, the guy he's facing had a hand in that Game 5. Syndergaard, remember, had that scintillating 7th inning in relief after DeGrom started that Game 5. Kershaw misses low, and he's behind on Davis, 3-1. Kershaw walked 3 and 4 innings in his last start against the Giants. He's had a week off between starts.
He threw 99 pitches in that start in only 4 innings.
Dodgers have been going with a 6-man rotation. Had a crimp put in that because Rich Hill came back from the injured list and got hurt again last night. Davis flies one deep left field. Back goes Pollock for a look, but it's out of here. J.D. Davis gets the Mets starting with his 19th home run of the year. And the Mets pick up the home run barrage. 5 home runs on Wednesday, 6 home runs yesterday. J.D. Davis, second batter of the night, goes deep.
Keith, the 25th home run given up by Kershaw this season.
Well, they say that he's been vulnerable in the first inning. Long ball vulnerable, and sure enough, 3-1 count. Ronnie came in with the fastball.
So J.D. Davis on the cusp of becoming the Mets' 5th hitter with 20 home runs this year, number 19 for J.D. And the Mets have the early lead. And now Jeff McNeil hitting 3rd in the order. And he takes the first pitch low and away.
No overswing here. And you can see that was inner half, bell tie, and he knew it.
Flying forearm pass. Neal pops one foul, 1-1. That Mets home run made Citi will done it enough for No Kid Hungry to provide 20,000 meals to kids in need. The Mets have now hit 12 home runs in a 3-game span, and we've got 26 more outs to play with. That's already tied a club record for most home runs in a 3-game span. The Mets have now scored 107 runs in the first inning. Only 2 teams, the Reds and the Rangers, have scored more in the first inning. And McNeil flies one out to center field, and Bellinger's there waiting for it. 2 out. Let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Gary, one matchup to watch here tonight is Clayton Kershaw versus the Mets and what the Mets do first pitch of their at-bats. Clayton Kershaw, that's one area where he's vulnerable. This season, opponents hitting .378 with a .667 slugging percentage off of him on the first pitch. And the Mets happen to be an ultra-aggressive team. They swing at the first pitch 35% of the time. That leads Major League Baseball. By comparison with Kershaw, opponents who don't swing at the first pitch of the at-bat, they're hitting under 200 this season.
Of course, McNeil swings at a higher percentage of first pitches than any player in baseball, and he took the first pitch tonight. Wilson Ramos takes a slider outside, ball 1. Ramos, day off yesterday, catching Syndergaard tonight, and that's been the subject of a whole lot of conversation in the last few days. Syndergaard repeated his request to have someone other than Ramos catch him, but Ramos is behind the plate tonight, and Syndergaard just pitched a 1-2-3 first inning.
Nice.
Ramos at .295 for the year, .357 against lefties. That's the second best figure against left-handers in the National League, and Kershaw falls behind him 3-0.
See if Mickey Callaway gives the big Buffalo here a 3-0 hit sign.
He doesn't like to swing 3-0. I mean, just watching him this season.
At least give him the option.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think everybody has the hit sign. There's ball 4. So Kershaw issues a 2-out walk, and that'll prolong the inning for Robinson Cano. And you can already see Kershaw shaking his head. He gets that animation on him when he doesn't throw pitches perfectly.
Well, it's not perfectly, but it's also not coming out of his hand with a lot of velocity so far. You know, a lot of times you say, boy, he's had a lot of rest. He should be great. The great ones, they like to pitch every 5th day. Get it rocking and rolling.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about yesterday. If you're the Dodgers and you've got 2.5 weeks to play with before the postseason comes. What's the magic line between keeping the ship rolling and getting everybody enough rest going into the postseason?
I remember in 1986, to get us all ready for the postseason, I pitched the last game. I went 5 innings, and Sid Fernandez went 4 innings as we got ready. So those are the kind of things that will happen in the last week, but not right now. He's just trying to get right because of those 3 last starts.
Cano, a home run yesterday. He's hit 3 home runs in 21 at bats since coming off the injured list. He has fallen right back into the same groove he was in when he got hurt. And he takes a fastball, and that's just off the plate. Hunter Wendelstedt with a tight strike zone, and that's 6 straight out of the strike zone for Kershaw. Well, those are those last 3 starts that we've been talking about. 16 innings, 11 runs allowed, and 6 long balls.
Never like to see that from a star pitcher, all-star pitcher coming in.
Rounded down to first, and Muncy will handle that, and that retires the side. But J.D. Davis gets the Mets started with his 19th home run. 1-0 Mets after 1. Mets baseball is always live with MLB at Bat. Follow the action with game tracking and video highlights, along with up-to-the-moment stats, standings, breaking news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Second inning, 1-0 New York. Noah Syndergaard will square off against Cody Bellinger. Bellinger was hitting .400 for a good portion of the early season.
Yes, he was. I think around 2 months, Garrett, through May. It was an incredible start that he had.
Still having a pretty good run of it. His OPS well over 1,000.
Very upright hitter.
Yeah.
Stands straight up like a telephone pole and takes a vicious cut. They say that his drop in his batting average has been at the first half. He really didn't overswing, was hitting the ball where it was pitched, especially with 2 strikes. And then in the second half, he kind of was taking big. He's starting to get that big home run swing back.
Well, and yet we talked about it yesterday. His strikeout rate has dropped by about 1/3.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much more contact he's made this year compared to last.
Oh, he threw that one right by him. That was not a swing you want to review.
Yeah. It's interesting, his feet, right? It's almost like he has a knock-kneed kind of stance. Feet really close together, front foot facing backwards.
Long trees on the Sox. 2-2 to Bellinger. And he fouls away the fastball at 99 miles an hour. Bellinger last year hit just .260, 25 home runs. A step backward from his Rookie of the Year season 2 years ago.
Oh.
Is he wearing Jock Peterson's shoes?
Maybe.
Wearing number 31. He hammers that one foul.
Oh, nicely played off the carom there, ball boy.
Showing off the skills. We should send you out there to be a ball boy for a day, Keith.
Oh, I can't move like I used to.
No, you don't have to.
On my knee, you kidding? My back?
Take 2 steps.
It's a whole lot better, but I don't want to embarrass myself.
No, I don't think that would happen. I think you would acquit yourself quite nicely. Think of all the reaction time you have all the way that far down the line compared to playing first base.
Imagine someone in your ear for 9 innings saying, Kate, hey, Kate.
Yeah, that might happen too. 8th pitch of the at-bat to Bellinger, and he goes down swinging for the first out. Syndergaard with the changeup gets Bellinger for his 2nd strikeout.
You know, occasionally when you throw that changeup, when you fool the hitter like Bellinger was fooled there, you'll get a slow swing. Watch his swing.
He did not have a good at-bat there. That is not a good swing.
Terrible weight transfer.
Well, there's no hip rotation.
There's the grip buried in the back of the hand of Syndergaard, still able to throw that pitch 88 to 90 miles an hour.
So he's retired the first 4, and now here's Corey Seager. Corey Seager, whose lifetime batting average against the Mets is .439, with 7 home runs in 66 career at-bats. The same Corey Seager the Mets passed by in the 2012 draft.
I thought we were told not to mention that.
Were we? I missed that meeting. And he lines one promptly for a base hit. And so Seager's heroics against the Mets continue. He's the first Dodger base runner of the night. He's now 6 for 9 with a home run against Syndergaard.
No, goes right with the pitch.
So the Dodgers have their first base runner, and now A.J. Pollock, the oft-injured former Diamondback, signed a 4-year free agent contract with the Dodgers and promptly went on the injured list in April and missed 3 months.
So he's had nothing but problems staying on the field as most of his career.
Well, there's where we are.
Oh.
That's Ronnie waving his pen. I'm right.
I went for the low seat. I got the low seat. I don't know what's that about. What's that about?
You can raise it.
You sure it doesn't go up?
No, I like it. It's more comfortable.
You're like the little kid in the back of the classroom.
Exactly.
Popped up. And McNeil makes the play for the second out.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed from these seats. It's very hard to see the ball in the air, which could be an issue. I mean, it's that dusk.
Is it
night? I don't know.
Is it that we're not used to that perspective?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
But the outfielders would have as difficult a time.
I lose it as soon as it gets in the air.
There's Gavin Lux, the rookie second baseman, making his 9th big league start. And Lux rifles one foul. He was having a big year in the minor leagues, AA, AAA this year. Lux at .347 with 26 home runs.
Nice.
That's the perspective from the top of the scoreboard. Really emphasizes the vastness of the outfield, doesn't it? Lux takes a sinker low and away, ball and strike.
Both pitchers trying to dart that outside corner, and they're missing. And I don't think Wendelstedt's got a tight strike zone. I think they're just a little bit off the plate.
Hunter Wendelstedt, second generation big league umpire.
Dad was a good umpire, good guy.
Ben May working at first. Vic Carapazza, Long Island native, on second.
Very nice.
And Sonia, the crew chief, works in third. '21-year-old Gavin Lux, 241 through his first 29 big league at bats. Corey Seager doesn't steal many bases, but teams come into this ballpark and face Syndergaard, and teams that don't often run tend to run a lot. 33 stolen bases allowed, by far the most of any pitcher in the major leagues. And the slider misses inside, 3-1. Not the most stolen bases given up in a year. Gave up 48 in 2016. Seager only one stolen base attempt this year. Hit on the ground toward the hole, cut off nicely by McNeil. Has to go to first with it in time. Nobody was covering at second, so McNeil had to make the adjustment and threw out Lux to end the inning. A hit and one left, 1-0 Mets in the second. Purchase your 2020 Mets season ticket package today. Choose from full season, half season, or 20 game plans that include opening day and the Subway Series. Plus, for a limited time, receive an authentic Pete Alonso jersey and full postseason access with your purchase. Buy your plan today at Mets.com/plans. That's been playing the last few days for Todd Frazier. 5 for 9, 3 homers, 7 RBIs the last 3 games. And he leads off in the home second. Frazier, Conforto, and Lagares for the Mets against Kershaw in the second. And Todd tries to hold the swing.
Well, there's a bomb right there yesterday from Frazier. We've seen him so many times let go with one hand and flick of the wrist and deposit it in the left field seats. That was his 21st home run of the season.
Get the ball in the barrel this year.
Goes a long way.
It does.
Doesn't need a whole lot of impetus. Kershaw comes with a 2-0 slider, and Frazier fouls it off. So this is only the second game that Todd has started at first base this year. The first one was August 4th in Pittsburgh, and that day he had 3 hits and 3 RBIs. He was enthused about playing first base tonight.
Well, as his career continues, versatility is going to be his friend, right?
Flies one down the right side. Now go foul out of play. 2-2.
So I thought it was interesting before the game to just see the 166 and 74 record. What a winning percentage. It's going to be interesting to me to see how many fastballs Kershaw throws into the left-handed hitters, McNeil and Conforto in particular, and how many curveballs he throws.
Throws the slider down on a full count to Frazier.
He uses his fastball less and less every year. He's using that cutter or slider, call it what you want, more and more.
Frazier breaks his bat and pops it up. And there is Seager to grab it. One away.
And we have a graphic showing you how much it's gone down. Now listen, everyone in baseball is trying to spin the ball more and use their fastball less. Justin Verlander in his no-hitter, though, threw it almost 70% of the time to his fastball. But everyone's using it less, spinning the ball more, including Kershaw.
All right, so here's the part that I don't understand about Kershaw. Okay, he's throwing his fastball less. Understandable. Everybody's doing that. He has got one of the most hellacious curveballs in baseball. But he's throwing his curveball about the same amount he's always thrown. It's the slider that he's throwing more and more. Why that rather than the curveball?
Well, I think because he lost some velocity, Gary. And once he lost velocity off his fastball, he had to make that fastball dart and move. That's why he's gone to the cutter.
There's the curve. Strike to Conforto. I mean, it's a great pitch.
It is. I mean, everyone in baseball, if you're left-handed, want to throw a curveball like that.
When he first came up, that was the pitch that Joe Torre looked at and said he could be Sandy Koufax. And he strikes out Conforto with a slider for the second out. And sure enough, with his last win, Kershaw passed by Sandy Koufax in victories.
So that's his little cutter there to the left-hander that works also. But no pitches inside to Conforto in that at-bat.
So now Juan Lagares, let's see what he has for an encore after his career day yesterday. 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. Had never done either one of those things before. Had never hit a grand slam before yesterday.
You charmed him, Gary.
I don't know about that, but he charmed himself. And the thing about Juan is you go back to around the time McNeil got hurt and he got a chance to play regularly. He has really been a much more productive offensive player. Only going on a month and a half now.
Well, that's the grand slam. He got one down and in with I believe a 3-2 count. I'm not sure. And then here's the other one, a little cutter up in the strike zone. He went the opposite way. And Juan had himself a career afternoon.
You know, Gary, you mentioned the playing time of Lagares. As soon as it increased, his production increased. Very few players are productive when they play once a week. It's hard to do. One of the few curveballs in baseball that's cast. And what I mean by that, he'll kind of flip that out of his hand. It's almost like it starts to go up first before it comes down. See the grip, 2 fingers together?
Very hard to pick up his motion. I can tell from the side. A little herky-jerky to him.
He has that beautiful delay at the bottom where he kind of rests his foot, stops his motion, and then continues.
Roth Nan.
That's right.
He had that.
He did.
That bounce of the foot. He hangs the foot. I don't know how he does that. You got to be awfully strong with your legs.
Like he's starting a motorcycle.
Yep. Lagares lays off the curve 2-2. So if you go back to Kershaw's performances against the Mets in the division series in 2015, Lagares is the only guy in the lineup tonight who faced him. He actually had a hit against Kershaw in Game 4. He's never had a hit against Kershaw in the regular season, 0 for 16.
Trying to think of the right-handed bats. Uribe, would he have played? Probably.
2-2 coming. And he lays off a high fastball. He's gone from 0-2 to 3-2.
Well, 2 pitches ago, he's such a perfectionist. When he doesn't throw it where he wants to throw it, he will let you know. He will yell at himself, implore himself to get his mechanics right.
Lagares hits it hard, but a right-hand sinker. And that retires the side. 1-2-3 inning for Kershaw. 1-0 Mets after 2. We go to the third inning, 1-0 New York. Pete Alonso recently set the Mets single-season home run record. The man who set the record that he broke is standing by with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Thanks a lot, Gary. Here with Todd Hundley. And, we've been having alumni come back all season long, but this is cool to have you here, not just to talk about your days in a Mets uniform, but what you've seen with Pete Alonso this season. First of all, the two of you finally got a chance to talk today for the first time. What was that conversation like?
He's a great guy. He really is. Yeah, I just, just said to him, congratulations, and, don't change a thing, man. This is what got you here, and just don't do anything different. And very respectful kid and a great guy, and I hope he hits 10 more.
You just might.
Yeah.
You just might do that. Todd, I know you live in Chicago, but you were watching that as the home run started racking up from afar. What impresses you the most when you watch Pete Alonso hit?
Where the pitches he hits, you watch on TV and you think there's no way that ball is going out of the ballpark because he just hit it an inch off the dirt, and it goes. I mean, it's impressive, and these guys only come along once in a while, so when they are around, you want to see them.
Todd, between you and us, I mean, we're not on TV, forget the microphones, everything like that. You wanted to keep that record, no?
Yeah, it would have been nice, but hey, they're all meant to be broken.
Thinking back to that day, though, and all jokes aside, it was 23 years ago tomorrow that you broke that record. Can you believe it was that long ago? And what do you remember most about the day that you did set the Mets record?
No, I can't believe it's been that long. It's like a blink of an eye. What I remember was I hit the home run, and the Braves had outfield. It might have been like Mike Cameron when he first came up. And he threw it up in the stands, so then they go chase the kid down the stands to get the ball. It's a whole big deal. And I met the kid underneath and gave him a bat, traded it, and all that. And turned out well, and it was just chaos. I just remember that with Mike throwing it up in the stands and going, oh, okay, it's gone. But they got it back.
You got it back. Todd, it's so great to see you, man. Great to see you doing so well, and hopefully it's not too long until we see you again.
I appreciate it.
All right, good to see you. Guys, back to you.
Todd Hundley was a special player, a guy who could hit home runs from both sides of the plate. Dad was a catcher in the big leagues. He was a catcher in the big league.
He was just coming to camp because the young catchers always come to spring training because you need extra catching. He was just coming up when I was leaving New York. 1990, I think, was his first year.
Will Smith, young catcher, leading off in the third, takes a call third strike. Knee-high fastball from Syndergaard, and Noah's got his third strikeout of the night. Hundley set the record in '96. Carlos Beltran tied it 10 years later, and Pete Alonso has shattered it 13 years after that.
Gary, do you remember 1999? Did Piazza have a few games left with 40?
Remember, Mike was struggling with injuries late in '99. That's why Todd Pratt hit the home run against the Diamondbacks. So I don't think it was really a big thought. I think, the Mets were battling for a postseason berth. They hadn't been in the postseason for 10 years. That really took priority over everything.
Yeah. It's, I mean, to obliterate it the way that Alonso has done, it to me is the most remarkable thing.
Kershaw takes a strike. Clayton Kershaw, 5 hits this year, lifetime 160 hitter. Syndergaard gets ahead 1-2. So Noah tried to defuse earlier this week. all the noise about him wanting a personal catcher, not wanting to have Wilson Ramos catcher. And, you know, Wilson has taken the high road. He has not said one word to anybody about it. He does not want to be drawn into that conversation, and good on him for that.
Yes. You know, even though it really, to me, it was quite an insult to Ramos. You know, Scherzer down there in Washington never had any problem with the Buffalo.
Or Gio Gonzalez, or, you know, any other, right, or any other top flight starters that Ramos has caught. I guess my question is, and we talked about yesterday what an incredible camaraderie there is on this team.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it every day. And the strength of the bond on this team. And as guys who played, my question would be whether this whole discussion has done anything that might undermine that.
I don't think so.
I think the team will pull together, and the hope is that Syndergaard will join into the fold. Come into the fold.
I think that the bond's too tight with this ball club to let anything really get in the middle of it. But I like what Mickey Callaway said. Pitch your game, no matter who's catching.
And it was interesting because Mickey went a little bit in depth talking about you know, what Ramos brings to the table and what Nito brings to the table. And he said, honestly, if I didn't think as much of Noah Syndergaard as I do as he strikes out Kershaw, I might have gone a different way tonight. But I know that Syndergaard is as dedicated to his craft as he is, and to perfection to an extent that ultimately it's not going to matter who catches.
That's right. So just throw a gem, and all the talk will disappear.
And you're nipping this stuff in the bud before you create a monster.
2 out and nobody on. A couple of strikeouts for Syndergaard to start the third. Now he starts his second tour of the Dodger batting order with Jock Peterson. Rounded out his first time up. Well, those are the numbers, and certainly they are stark. However, Syndergaard also pitched a shutout this year with Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
Yeah, his best game.
Rounded on the left side. That'll go up the middle for a base hit. And so Peterson with a 2-out single, the Dodgers' second hit of the night.
No Rosario in the picture at all. And plus playing extremely shallow. You think you'd be playing a little deeper if you're going to play that far over.
Well, you would also think that if you're going to play Rosario that far in the hole, that you would have Cano playing more toward the middle. Maybe somewhere in the picture, but they gave Peterson that part of the infield. And he took advantage. Friday the 13th and a full moon. Is that an unusual combination?
Drive careful.
There's Max Muncy. 3 infielders on the right side for him. Muncy struck out his first time up, his first at bat coming off the injured list.
I was wondering, when you have an injury like he has with the fractured wrist healing, or it's healed now, I wonder if it hurts more when you swing and miss than it does when you make contact.
Or a check swing.
Check swing.
Check swing.
Yeah.
StatCast AI powered by Amazon Web Services. You see McNeil flipped over to the right side against the pull-hitting left-hand batter.
See, with 2 outs, I would just back Rosario up all the way. Once he's not bunting, he's trying to hit a homer.
He's not bunting, and he's not, not the fastest guy.
Wow. You call that a strike?
He did. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Once he's talking to Hunter.
Oh, those lovely jet aircraft.
We get a little more intimate with them out here than we do in our booth.
Go away.
Lofted in the air to right field. Conforto coming toward the line. That retires the side. A hit and 1 left. 3 scoreless innings for Syndergaard. 1-0 Mets. Is Pete Alonso's career potential mapped out? Get a prediction of how many Mets records he could break on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. How many records could he break? Just this year? Going to rewrite the entire Mets record book.
Nice view of the apple there.
The apple that got exhausted yesterday. I mean, the Mets hit home runs on back-to-back pitches, Lagares and then Nito, and the hydraulics couldn't regenerate quickly enough to send the apple up for Nito's home run. And you know, you got to feel bad for Tomas. He doesn't hit that many home runs. He'd like to get a little apple love.
If the apple doesn't come up, do you really hit a home run?
That's a good question.
I personally didn't need the apple.
Didn't have an apple when you were a kid.
Yes, they did, didn't they?
Did they?
They had the apple, didn't
When
they?
did the apple start?
I don't remember.
I thought they had the apple when we played.
Listen,
Yeah.
if I'm seeing the apple, it's not good for me.
Yeah, I remember the apple.
I remember what year the apple started. I mean, that was not there in the 60s and the 70s.
I remember I hit a home run off the apple, off the facing of the apple, in one game against the Reds.
Strike three called. Syndergaard strikes out for the 44th time in 60 at-bats.
I heard your number. I didn't want to comment on it.
I mean, he's hit a couple of home runs, and he's obviously got, you know, a tremendous potential to hit the long ball, but that's a lot of strikeout. It's Ahmed Rosario as Kershaw starts the second time around the point back.
What's that, 440 in a season?
And 600, yeah, at that season. But not too many pitchers get those. Slider in for a strike to Rosario. Let's see. Home run apple appeared in 1980. So there you go. Wow. So it was there for the entirety of your Mets tenure. Beatty throws out Rosario for the second out. Playoff picture in the National League. The Dodgers have clinched their 7th straight NL West title. Braves have a magic number of 8. They're playing the Nationals tonight. No score in the 4th. Cardinals and Cubs still have 7 meetings between them. Cubs are still, not a final. Cubs beat the Pirates 17-8. So move a half game ahead of the Brewers for the time being. Brewers are in St. Louis tonight. That game is yet to start. They'll be facing Adam Wainwright, who's been pitching really well coming down the stretch for the Cardinals. Everybody for that Cardinals team's been pitching great. Here's J.D. Davis, who's homered for the game's only run. And he takes a strike. Davis homered against Kershaw when the Mets faced him in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that was Kershaw got the win in that game. 6 innings, gave up 3 runs in a 9-5 win at Dodger Stadium.
You know, the great ones, you know, you have one here with DeGrom, Washington with Scherzer, Kershaw. You could just see they just love the competition. They love to compete out there. I mean, everyone competes at this level. Some do it better than others. He's one of them.
Well, even to the point where when he's fighting himself, as he has been a lot early in this game, like DeGrom, he's still able to be competitive. You learn the most about a player, and I guess a pitcher in particular, since they're so front and center, on their worst days, where they don't blow the world away.
Yeah, can you, when you don't have your good stuff, pitch well enough for your team to win the ball game? That's what it's about.
Davis fouls it away, 3-2. Well, we mentioned the home run in Los Angeles.
That was, pitch was about the same elevation, but in this one had more of the center of the plate, a little higher up.
And he grounds this one in the middle of the diamond. You got 2 infielders there together, and Lux throws out Davis to end the inning. After 3, 1-0 Mets. We'll keep it here for the veteran of the game.
Thanks to the greatest military force across the globe, America remains a land of the free and home of the brave. During each Mets home game, we recognize a veteran of the game, and here is our honoree.
Corporal Martin Diamond served our country as a member of the United States Air Force during World War II. He fought in the Pacific Theater, earning several honors, including the Philippines Liberation Ribbon with Bronze Service Star. And here he is, our veteran of the game, Corporal Martin Diamond. Presenting Martin with an American flag that has flown over Citi Field is Mets pitcher Jacob deGrom.
First Data and SNY salute tonight's veteran of the game, along with those service members who made the ultimate sacrifice to defend our nation and serve the military community. Fourth inning, 1-0 New York. And with Syndergaard's allowed 2 hits through the first 3 innings, he'll face Matt Beatty leading off in the 4th. Beatty grounded out to short his first time up. It'll be Beatty, then Cody Bellinger and Corey Seager for the Dodgers in the 4th. Dodgers clinched their NL West title Tuesday night in Baltimore. It's grounded on the left side. Nice scoop on the short hop by McNeil, and he throws out Beatty, 1 away.
Nice short hop by McNeil. He's made 2 nice plays. He is such a jack of all trades.
And now they'll flip over to the right side to give the Mets the shift against Bellinger. He struck out his first time up. Struck out with a changeup after an 8-pitch at bat. Bellinger comes upstairs with a fastball, 0-1. Bellinger 3rd in the league in on-base percentage, 2nd in slugging, 2nd in runs scored, 2nd in extra base hits. Pops this one foul back and out of play.
Keith, it's like when I'm watching him in these first 2 at-bats, it feels like he's on his heels.
Well, he's straight up as a board.
Yeah.
It almost looks like when he swings, he comes like a jack-in-the-box. He kind of swings and goes up. It works for him.
The one thing that he has that not many players have, that core rotation, flexibility that he has to generate that unbelievable swing. Velocity of his swing is amazing.
Player who never hit a home run in high school. I mean, it's not like he hit 1 or 2.
Yeah.
He never hit a home run in high school.
Really?
He's got 44 this year.
I mean, he's a tall, thin athlete, so I'm sure he was really skinny at some point.
2-2 from Syndergaard. And he taps that one at the plate. It's a foul ball. Sits in the batter's box.
Killed a few worms.
Ramos was waiting for that ball to roll fair. Threw it to first base anyway. Just, you know, you never know. So far, he's not been able to get the measure of Syndergaard's changeup. See if he throws it again. He does, and he lays off at a full count. On base plus slugging. Christian Yelich out for the year, number 1. Anthony Rendon, number 2, and Bellinger right there. Three-two coming. And he fouls it off. But I think, you know, when the MVP voters go to parse things through, Bellinger's defense is going to give him a big extra boost.
Well, it gives him a big extra boost in WAR, if you're a fan of WAR.
Or wins above replacement, because who after all is a fan of WAR? 3-2 coming, and that's hooked foul.
It's got a very odd swing, Bellinger.
Yes. The fog of wins above replacement.
Fouls this one back. Well, this was a play that he made in Los Angeles against the Mets, throwing on Carlos Gomez at third base. That's special.
I'll never forget that play because Nito was running home from third, and he went after the faster player Gomez at third and got him.
And got him before Nito crossed the plate to gain the run. It was just a splendid play. And that's 2 high, ball 4. And so Bellinger's on with a 1-out walk. First walk given up by Syndergaard, a 10-pitch plate appearance for Bellinger.
That was a good at-bat.
So that'll get Corey Seager to the plate with the man on. Seager with a base hit to left center his first time up. Now 6 for 9 against Syndergaard. Seager missed most of last year to Tommy John surgery. Stint on the DL this year with a hamstring problem is limited it somewhat, but still playing at a very high level.
Always starts the at-bat with a little bit of a choke up on the bat, the Seager.
Bellinger has 12 stolen bases this year. Most of anybody in the Dodger lineup tonight, so if they're going to be running, he might well be running here.
He's fast. He could run more if he wanted to.
Braves got a run off Max Scherzer in the 4th inning. Atlanta won, Washington nothing. Seager flies one down the left field side, and that'll go out of play. 1-1. Well, the Dodgers won 7 straight division titles. Since divisional play began, only 2 major league teams have a longer stretch. Braves won 14 straight in the 90s and the 2000s. The Yankees won 9 straight from 98 to 06.
Other 3 teams on that list, though, have championships.
Yep.
Not the Dodgers.
That's their goal this year after losing in the World Series each of the last 2 years. Line into right field for a base hit. Bellinger will go first to third. Seager just keeps on raking against the Mets. He's 2 for 2. And the Dodgers get a runner past first base for the first time tonight. 1st and 3rd and 1 out.
Little hit and run there, Keith.
Yes, sir. I love it. Off the good pitchers, you got to make it happen here. Easily, a nice hit and run sets up the inning. Mets will play back for 2, of course.
A.J. Pollock, the batter, popped up his first time up. Center field for most of his career, but his defensive skills not what they once were. A former Gold Glover, and they're content to use him in left these days. Bellinger playing center tonight. Syndergaard pops him with a strike. 1-1.
He didn't like that crawl either. Pollock has got good speed. It's not as good as it once was. He has grounded into 6 double plays this year.
His biggest injury problem has been with the elbow. He's had to have that elbow operate on 3 times, including this season, when some of the hardware started to come apart in his elbow. There's a good slider by Syndergaard, maybe the best one he's thrown so far. 1-2.
Well, see if he can get the runner in. Runner on third, less than 2 outs.
Not if he throws another one of these pitches. I mean, that was perfect. That slider started on the outside corner, and with the spin just off the plate away.
Can't reach it from where he's standing. That was a strike, too.
One-two coming, and he chops one foul. Pollock this year 10 of 17 getting a runner in from third and less than 2 out. That's pretty good, 59%. Gavin Lux, the rookie second baseman, on deck. Syndergaard has struck out 4 tonight. All those came first time through the batting order. Now he's in a spot where he could use a strikeout against Pollock. One-two. And it's hit past the mound and into center field, a base hit. That'll bring in the tying run as Bellinger trots in to score. Pollock able to poke one up the middle for a game-tying single when it's 1-1.
I don't know why Seager slid into second base here. The play is in front of him. And this is, he finally reaches for that slider, Ron. He got that one up. That's the difference. I don't think Seager could have gone first or third anyway.
Well, the only reason Cano was there is because Seager was running, so it brought Cano. That's Seager running on the play, looking in, hit and run. Lost the ball.
I can't believe it'd be hit and run with 2 strikes.
Yeah.
You know, I think he just ran on his own and just looked.
So now 2 on for Gavin Lux, who grounded out his first time up. So a walk and 2 singles producing a run. Dodgers putting runners in motion twice and getting base hits each time. Lux takes a changeup out of the strike zone. It's 2-0. This one began with that 10-pitch walk to Bellinger. Syndergaard back on his heels now. Seager at second, Pollock at first with 1 out. Takes that fastball. Where was that? It wasn't Ramos turning around to Hunter Wendelstedt. You never see that from Ramos.
Well, especially last inning, he called the pitch up in the strike zone. Let's see the pitch cast.
Yeah.
Well,
borderline.
Got to give it to Hunter.
Borderline.
So it's 3-0 to Lux. That one's a straight. Smith, the number 8 hitter, waiting on deck. This is some Dodger lineup. And there's plenty more sitting in the dugout. 3-1 coming. And Lux grounds 1 foul. Gavin Lux, just 21 years old. Kenosha, Wisconsin native. First round pick out of high school 3 years ago. Now at age 21, getting his first taste of the big leagues.
It's a big league name, isn't it? Gavin Lux.
Deluxe.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go with that.
Yes.
Right? 3-2 with 1 out. Runners go. And Lux drives one to deep center field. Back goes Lagares. It's over his head, and it's out of here. A 3-run homer for Gavin Lux, just his second major league home run. And the Dodgers now have a 4-1 lead. And they're telling Lux it's a home run. He stopped at third base, didn't realize that the ball had cleared the orange line, but it clearly did. We have a great angle from where we're sitting in right center field to see that ball hit the black. Lux with his second home run. The Dodgers have won a 4-1 fourth and lead 4-1.
Wow, your Big Apple debut just above the line.
Now Lagares knew it immediately. He's seen enough of those.
Wow.
Third base umpire Dan Iassoni had to tell the rookie, you can continue on home. Now the umpires are meeting to try and decide whether they want to go to a crew chief review of this, and they will. But clearly that was a home run. I mean, I think Syndergaard knew it. Certainly Lagares knew it. He's stopped playing.
We see this a lot, though. I mean, you know this ball's out, but I guess just to make sure. You can just tell by the way it bounced back to Lagares that it had to hit the cement above the padding.
Well, this has got to be a very quick.
Should take about 5 seconds.
Like, get the phones on and tell them go. Get back to your spots.
Bill Miller and Jeff Nelson are the crew chiefs in Chelsea at the replay center. Another close-up, more close-up view of where it hit, clearly above the orange line. So there's no question, and they do confirm that quickly.
Yep.
So for Noah Syndergaard, last year at Citi Field, he gave up 4 home runs all season. He's now given up 15 home runs at Citi Field this season.
15 out of his 20.
I mean, the ball's been flying out for the Mets. They've already hit more home runs at home this year than they ever have before. But they're flying out for the opposition, too.
Oh, hanging slider, Ronnie.
Yeah.
3-2 count.
He wanted the backdoor slider. Give credit to the hitter. That's a young hitter right there. And that's dead central.
The Dodgers with their 260th home run. That leads the National League. First at bat, second home run for Lux. Will Smith struck out looking his first time up.
Well, here's your hanging slider. He wanted to go the back door with it and just kind of rolls in there, and give Lux credit. Full count, stayed in.
26 home runs for Lux and minors this year. Now 2 more in the big leagues.
You know what's interesting about that pitch? It was almost like it was a hybrid. To me, it seemed in between the slider and the curveball. Postseason baseball fans are going to find out a lot about Mr. Lux, aren't they?
I would assume that he's going to be part of the Dodgers' everyday lineup, at least against right-handed pitching in the postseason. But you never know. I mean, they can play Muncy at second. They can play Peterson or Zollinger at first. They got so many moving parts.
Well, he's making a statement, though. Nice crowd.
Still only 1 out in the inning. 3-2 to Will Smith with Kershaw on deck, and he chops one for Cano to handle. And that's the second out. This is from behind us, so we were able to get a pretty good view of that home run, which hit Black off to our right in center field. Geez, he's so far away.
I feel lonely. I don't like it.
It's like you're in a different zip code over there.
I feel like I've been banished.
Come home, Keith. Come home. Kershaw grounds one out to Rosario, and that ends the inning. A damaging one for Noah Syndergaard. Gavin Lux a 3-run homer. Dodgers 4, Mets 1 in the 4th. You hear the music? It's kind of a Friday the 13th theme. All the Jasons who've ever played for the New York Mets. Jason Tyner, first-round draft pick. Jason Phillips with the great goggles. Jason Hockamy.
Oh, that's how you pronounce it.
I don't think that was Jason Hockamy, by the way, because Jason Hockamy's a left-hander. But it was close. Oh, and there's Jason Vargas, the most recent Jason. Oh, come on. John DeMarsico, our master of horror.
That was John DeMarsico.
Did someone tell John that this is a family programming?
You're scaring the little kids, John.
John wants to be Fellini.
Well, the Mets just survived the horror of the Dodgers' 4-1 4th inning. And now Clayton Kershaw staked to the lead. Will take on 3, 4, and 5 in the Mets batting order at the bottom of the 4th.
I just thought that was an interesting inning from, of course, with a 3-run home run, but the leadoff walk on the 10-pitch at bat by Bellinger. Runners running all the time in that inning, being very aggressive.
Well, let's see if the Mets have an answer here. Our Kershaw runs out there like the pitcher that he is and runs a goose egg up there. The Mets got the 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up, middle of the order.
Kershaw gave up a first-inning home run to J.D. Davis, but that's been the Mets' only hit over the first 3 innings. Jeff McNeil flying to center his first time and drops down the bunt. Kershaw off the mound to bare hand and throws him out by a stride. 1 away. Well, that's a novelty from Jeff McNeil.
Jeff, you're out.
He certainly was out. Nice play by Kershaw.
I don't believe I've seen Jeff try to bunt. Drag bunt that too often, and I'm sure Kershaw is very happy about that.
1 pitch, 1 out, right?
Yeah, 1 pitch where he hits over 400 in that first pitch.
Well, if he beats that out,
well, he didn't swing.
There's Wilson Ramos, who walked his first time up, the only walk Kershaw has given up tonight. The curveball drops in for a strike, 0-2. Clayton Kershaw has lost each of his last 3 starts. It's only the 2nd time in his career that he's lost 3 straight starts. First time came in June of 2015. Chopper up the line, charging, and Beatty can't make the play. Probably could have used his glove with Ramos running, but tried to barehand it and couldn't come up with it.
Well, remember, with Ramos' wheels, the infielders, particularly the third baseman, they play way deep. We've mentioned many times before shades of Ernie Lombardi, the 2-time batting champion for the Cincinnati Reds, a catcher that couldn't run. They used to play him in the shallow outfield, the infielders.
So the Mets have a 1-out base runner. And now Robinson Cano. That's the 2nd hit against Kershaw. Ramos snaps an 0-for-8 stretch. Cano grounded out his first time up. And he grounds one. Seager can't get to it, and it's into center field, a base hit. Ramos pulls in at 2nd, so back-to-back base hits for Ramos and Cano, and the Mets get the tying run to the plate with Todd Frazier coming up.
Well, there you go. The Mets are trying to answer, Keith.
Yes, they are. And Todd's up there right now, a real threat, power threat.
Kershaw broke his bat his first time up. Todd hit a soft pop-up to short.
Jammed Frazier the first time up on a fast cutter in.
He takes a fastball for a strike. Todd with 3 home runs in the last 2 days. Kershaw's already given up a home run tonight, 25 for the year. Inside, a ball and a strike. Well, that's a pretty good number for the course of your career to have held hitters under 200 with runners in scoring position for your career.
I mean, it's a good 2-3 starts.
That's not an aberration there. Of course, they only hit 209 against him overall, so it's not that far removed. And this is with the slider to Frazier, 2-1.
Frazier, small advantage. Now, I'm looking at Kershaw's hat. That's got to be a all year long hat. It's got the sweat kind of stains in it. Also a little darker on the bill, a little wet in the back.
Well worn.
Yep.
Trying to keep the ball in on Frazier, and he falls behind 3-1.
Well, last inning he got behind Lagares and he ended up throwing a backdoor cutter, which Lagares hit on the ground. Let's see if he goes to that, because he needs a ground ball.
Michael Conforto on deck. Ramos at second, Cano at first, 1 out.
Going back in.
Yep. And Frazier swings and pops it up. And Beatty right behind the bag in foul ground has it for the 2nd out.
No, he went after him.
So first he came in there with a fastball. We said his usage is down. Well, Todd wasn't guessing that. Then cutter in, another one that he didn't get the call. So 2-1 count. Came back in, got the 3-1. And it looked like that fastball didn't have as much on it, and Frazier was a little out front.
It had a lot of weight, I thought, and he just got under it.
So now 2 out and 2 on, and Michael Conforto, who struck out on 3 pitches his first time up.
Steady diet of curves and sliders to strike out Conforto the first time up.
Michael gets first pitch curveball and takes it outside.
Kershaw's got to know that he cannot leave the ball out over the middle if he throws the breaking ball. You've got to keep the ball away from Conforto. You make a mistake with a breaking ball over the plate, he'll lose it.
And Michael flies this one foul. Conforto homered his last time up yesterday. His 30th home run. Conforto said after the game it had been a goal of his to get to 30. Come close a couple of times. And now he's reached that milestone. He felt as though now he can kind of relax the rest of the way. Relax in a good way.
Yeah.
Two out and 2 on. A ball and strike to Conforto. And he swings and lines right to center field. Coming on, though, is Bellinger to make the catch. And that retires the side. Conforto hit it hard, but Kershaw gets through it. 4-1. Monday before the Jets-Browns game, join Jonas Schwartz, Ray Lucas, Bart Scott, and Janae Coakley for up-to-the-minute news and analysis leading up to the kickoff on the Jets pregame show presented by M&T Bank. Coverage begins Monday at 7 p.m. only on SNY. SNY's Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. We go to the 5th inning. We are sitting out at the Citi Pavilion in right center field. That's us. Hiya.
It's nice out here. I like it.
The weather is perfect for us because the wind is behind us, blowing out of the southeast.
It's very pleasant.
Third time around the batting order for Noah Syndergaard, trying to rebound after a rough 4th inning. John Peterson leads off in the 5th. Peterson 1 for 2 and a base hit his last time up. And the fastball sails outside for ball 1. 85 pitches through 4 innings for Syndergaard. Mets got brilliant starting pitching for 4 days against the Diamondbacks. 3 runs allowed by the starters in the 4-game series.
Really, it was the last time they did not have a great start by a starter was Syndergaard's start against the Phillies. 4 runs in 5 innings.
And here he is, 4 runs in 4 innings tonight, so it's kind of a carbon copy. Syndergaard has not thrown 100 pitches in any of his last 8 starts. He's been coming out early in games where he hasn't pitched well, and he's been coming out kind of early in games where he has pitched well. Now that's been a little confusing. After he ran up triple-digit pitch counts often the first half of the season.
I think he had 86 or so pitches through 7 innings in Washington, then he came out of the game.
He threw 100 or more pitches in 14 of his first 20 starts, but none of his last 8. Now, I've asked around just to see whether there's anything wrong.
Yeah.
And I've been told repeatedly there's nothing physically ailing Syndergaard, so that's not an issue. Just wonder whether the length of the season has caused them to back off a little bit.
You know, really with this kind of weather, Keith was mentioning it before, and this time of year, this is when you have the gas pedal, Gary, all the way floored, completely floored. Or should anyway.
I was going to say, does everybody know that? 2-2 to Peterson, and he lines this one into the gap, and Lagares runs it down. Juan Lagares got a nice break on that ball and snagged it in left center for the first down.
Look at Juan, top of your screen. We've got a little late break. Got a read on it, had it all the way though.
Starting to hit the ball hard off Syndergaard. Closes that glove and then opens it. That's classic. Most fielders will do that.
You don't want to run with your glove open. No, it's not as aerodynamic. Here's Max Muncy. Muncy struck out and flied out. 0 for 2. First came back off the injury list off a fractured wrist. Takes a slider for a strike, and it's 1-1. Brewers and Cardinals are underway in St. Louis. Brewers did not score at the top of the first. Milwaukee trying to keep pace with the Cubs. They began the day tied for the second wild card spot. The Cubs won a slugfest this afternoon from the Pirates 17-8.
They want to extend their 7-game winning streak. The Brew Crew.
Change up off the plate to Muncy, and it's 3-1. The Brewers have the work cut out for them tonight. Starting a series in St. Louis. And, reality starts to sink in that they're not going to have their best player the rest of the year. That's outside, ball 4, so Syndergaard staying with the off-speed stuff. And he walks Muncy on a 3-1 changeup. That's his second walk of the day. And now Matt Beatty, who's been up twice and grounded out to the left side both times. Luis Aguilar begins to loosen the Mets bullpen as Syndergaard starts approaching 100 pitches in the 5th inning. Beatty takes a fastball for a strike. Spectre high-speed pitch. Never a contest with Syndergaard on the mound. Muncy at first has 4 stolen bases this year. That's grounded to the left side. Rosario gets the out at second, and no throw by Cano. And that's the second out.
Well, he sidles over and gets in front. And really, for a major league shortstop and Rosario's caliber, who's been playing a very good shortstop the second half, that's really routine for him. Getting in front and getting that underhand feed.
So now Bellinger got the whole thing started for the Dodgers in the 4th inning when he drew a 10-pitch walk. And he takes a fastball in tight, ball 1. After Bellinger's walk, Seager and Pollock followed with hit-and-run singles. Pollock's drove in a run, and then Gavin Lux unloaded a 3-run homer. So in a 4-batter span, Syndergaard went from in front to 3 runs down. This will be his 100th pitch of the night. There goes the runner, swung and missed. Ramos' throw on the money, and he's safe. Looked like McNeil might have gotten the tag down in time. But Beatty steals the base, his 5th of the year.
think he got his hand in there before the tag. Yes,
he did. Good call.
Just barely.
It's a good call, though, by Vic Carapazza.
Oven mid to base before Love hits Rump. So a runner in scoring position with 2 out, 1-1 to Bellinger. And he goes after an up and away fastball. It's 1-2.
Well, Cody really is pulling off and just looking for almost like Bryce Harper, looking for something middle end just to hit out of the ballpark, and making himself very vulnerable on the outer quarter of the plate.
Pops this one up into shallow left, and Davis coming on. And he puts it away to retire the side. A walk and 1 left. Halfway through at Citi Field, 4-1 LA. Noah Syndergaard looks like he's done after 102 pitches over 5 innings. Clayton Kershaw with a 4-1 lead as Juan Lagares leads off in the home 5th. Well, of course, when we sit outdoors, there's always a chance to partake of some of the offerings around the ballpark. Today we've got the fried chicken bites from Fuku. Quite yummy.
These look great. I'm kind of waiting for a fork, or I guess, Russ, we eating this Viking style, or what?
Russ, you brought the Perel for Ronnie?
Yeah, exactly. I need a fork and knife.
These are nice. They've got scallions and bacon and spicy cheese sauce.
That's Russ Ruff.
I like spicy food, and this is pretty delectable.
Oh, and we got the cookies from Amazing Met Food.
Keith's got some cake or something.
It's not mine.
What?
Those are yours.
Oh, really?
Those are your cookies.
Those are your little cakes.
Very nice.
Got the homemade brownies, the blondies, the cast iron s'mores.
It's for tea and crumpets.
Lagares strikes after the first out in the home 5th. Third strike after Kershaw. Now Rajai Davis will bat for Syndergaard. So Noah's done after 5 innings. Allowed 4 runs and 5 hits.
Kind of just like his last start, eh?
You sound like a Canadian, Ron.
Oh, yeah, with the A part. Sorry about that. I have them all around me, Canadians.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
You ever met a bad Canadian?
Never.
No, the Canadians are solid.
Rajai bounces 1 foul. Davis hadn't at bat in yesterday's game and grounded out. Clayton Kershaw trying to snap a personal 3-game losing streak. And working with a 3-run lead in the 5th. And Davis lays off the slider. 2 balls and a strike. Boone over Flushing.
La Bella Luna.
Rajai chases the slider, and it's 2-2. Well, the good pitchers, when you get them enough runs, they know what to do with it. Look at that.
116-1. Only loss was this year. And one of the 3
just 2 weeks ago. And Rajai pops one up in foul ground. Once he might have room. And it does. 2 out.
Did we mention Kershaw's career numbers against the Mets too?
Yes, Gary did. 9-0.
What we have not mentioned is that if he wins tonight, he would be 10-0 to start his regular season career against the Mets. There are only 5 pitchers who have ever done that. Now, 4 of them pitched in the 60s when the Mets were, just starting out.
Yeah.
Larry Jackson won his first 18 against the Mets. Juan Marichal won his first 19 against the Mets. Sandy Koufax won his first 13 against the Mets, and Bob Friend, who later pitched for the Mets, won his first 12. The only pitcher who's won his first 10 against the Mets, not from the 60s, Pedro Martinez. He won his first 10. And now Kershaw trying to match him. Rolled slowly down to third, and Beatty makes the play on Rosario to retire the side. After 5, Dodgers 4, Mets 1.
But to take a shot every other ball game is more than I wanted to do, and to walk around with a constant upset stomach because of the pills, and to be high half the time during a ball game because you're taking painkillers. That's I don't want to have to do that.
What is your thought about the loss of income?
Well, the loss of income. All right, let's put it this way. If there were a man who did not have use of one of his arms, and you told him it would cost a lot of money and he could buy back that use, he'd give him every dime he had, I believe. That's my feeling.
Sandy Koufax announcing his retirement at the age of 30 because of arthritis and conditions that we probably couldn't even diagnose there in his elbow.
Well, you know they were loading him up with cortisone shots, Ron.
Yeah. I know what that feels like. Familia's in firsthand, the cortisone shots, and what he was talking about. There used to be something that pitchers would get all the time. It was a time-release Indocin, which was a thing you would take, 75 milligrams, and you would live in a state of like the worst upset stomach, like all day.
I mean, in those days, they did whatever was necessary to get him out to the mound, and that meant cortisone, and it meant painkillers, and it meant the anti-inflammatories you're talking about. And there's a certain point at which you just can't do it anymore.
Well, the Indocin is the real strong anti-inflam, and that's a real son of a gun.
Broken bat behind the bag. Cano with the sidearm toss, and a nice pick by Frazier. They get Corey Seager out for the first time tonight. Just checking with the studio. Maria Marino has Game Break, brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Wilson Contreras had 2 home runs in that game today, so the Cubs have held serve. The Brewers, who began the day tied with them, are scoreless with the Cardinals in the bottom of the second. The Mets began the day 2 games back, find themselves 3 runs in arrears. A.J. Pollock drove in the first Dodger run with a base hit up the middle of the 4th. There are the standings at the moment with the Chicago win reflected. The Phillies are off tonight. They're Friday off. They play the Red Sox a couple of games over the weekend. That center skips in, ball strike. William last pitched on Wednesday night. Worked a scoreless inning around a couple of hits. Again behind Syndergaard, who threw 102 pitches in 5 innings. Noah allowed 4 runs and 5 hits. Walked 2, struck out 4, allowed a home run. First time in his last 9 starts he's gone over 100 pitches. Pollock swings over the slider and it's 1-2.
Well, Jay Reese is not completely back, but you see glimpses every time he's out there the last 4 or 5 outings. Glimpses of his old self.
Rosario on the backhand. And he throws out Pollock for the second out. So 2 up and 2 set aside on ground balls by Familia. And now the rookie second baseman Gavin Lux, who's provided the difference in this game. A 3-run homer that cleared the orange line in center field, his second big league home run. And that snapped a 1-1 tie in the 4th. Gavin Lux is the nephew of Augie Schmidt, Now that name may not mean much to most people, but Augie Schmidt had the fame of having been one of the 4 players selected in the 1982 amateur draft ahead of Dwight Gooden. Sean Dunston was the first pick in the draft. Augie Schmidt was the second, taken by Toronto. Never made it to the big leagues, but his nephew Gavin Lux now has. The other 2 were Jimmy Jones,
San Diego,
Padres, and Brian Elkers, who pitched a little bit for the Twins.
Elkers, I think, was a University of Texas guy, right?
Yeah. And then Doc went number 5 in that draft to the Mets, coming out of high school in Tampa. We're very happy that he lasted that long. And Familia, after retiring the first 2, falls behind Lux 3-0. But those are the vagaries of the baseball draft, right? That a guy could be picked 2nd overall in the draft and never make it to the major leagues. Here's Augie Schmidt.
I do have to say, though, Gary, I think it happens less now because, you know, the best players are so well known. They play in these travel teams that play all over the country and big games, futures games.
I think that's the thing. They play so much more now than they used to. There used to be a lot of, you know, there'd have to be projection, which I guess you can also qualify as guesswork. There's less guesswork now. The players are coming up more finished products when they get to the draft, whether they're coming out of high school or college.
And I think that's why we're seeing so much great talent at 20, 21 years old.
Three-two coming to Lux. And the slider pulled on the ground down to Frazier, and he's going to slide into the bag and just get there in time. Not sure if Familia was going to get there or not, but Frazier made sure. 3 ground ball outs for Familia in the 6th. He wins the sliding contest. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Mets down 4-1. That is our broadcast location at the Citi Pavilion. Got a chance to be out amongst the population tonight on a big night for the Mets, in which they're going to have to try and come from behind against the best pitcher of his generation. J.D. Davis has provided the only Met run tonight. Second batter Kershaw faced in this game. Davis plowed his 19th home run. And Kershaw's given up nothing else since. He gets the first pitch fastball in for a strike. Mets have had just 3 hits tonight. Kershaw has walked 1, struck out 3. 3 infielders on the left side against Davis. McNeil and Ramos to follow in the home 6th. And J.D. takes the curveball for a strike, 0-2.
Pretty good curve he dropped on him right there.
Yeah, it's the curveball is seldom swung at.
And I'll ask the question again. Why doesn't he throw it more? I mean, look at his teammate, Rich Hill. He throws his curveball more than twice as often as Kershaw does. And there's another curve, and it's fouled off.
2 good ones right there.
Hill, by the way, came back from the injured list, pitched for the first time in 2.5 months last night, and hurt his knee. And may or may not be available for the postseason for LA.
He had missed some time in spring training because of the medial collateral ligament in his knee, and he re-injured it in Baltimore.
And a foul tip, strike 3. And Kershaw has his 4th strikeout of the night. Well, we talk about Kershaw being the best of his generation. Here are the other elite pitchers from his generation, and look at the difference in ERA.
Yeah, and you can see really the kind of the evolution of the game, because Verlander has got a lot of wins there in his 15th season. Wins, of course, don't seem as important because you only go 2/3 of the game. But Scherzer and Kershaw, just marvelous for their generation of pitchers.
There's Jeff McNeil, who tried to bunt his way on last time up. And Kershaw threw him out, and he takes a curveball for a strike.
All of a sudden, Kershaw has found his curve, his hammer.
Third time through the order. Maybe that's why he doesn't use it.
Keeps it in his back pocket.
Yeah.
Goes to the slider, and McNeil did not go around. And Sonia with the call, 1-1. Kershaw threw 99 pitches in only 4 innings in his last outing against the Giants. Only 76 pitches through 5 1/3 tonight. Another good slider, and it's 1-2.
You know, he didn't have his best start when he best stuff when he started this game, but it's starting to come. It's making it look a little easier here as he goes along.
Ever since he got the lead.
Yep.
It's funny how that works. Ramos on deck. 1-2 to McNeil. And he lifts one down the left field side. That'll go foul out of play. McNeil got a day off yesterday after hitting 2 home runs in the game on Wednesday to get him to 20 for the year. He takes a fastball down 2-2. Coming. And curveball down, and McNeil patiently works the count to 3-2.
Well, McNeil has a terrific eye, and that's what makes him such a good 2-strike hitter. We've seen it all season long. Ever since he's come up, he hasn't showed any weakness, anything getting off point. He is just a tough out.
Came into the night hitting .350 against left-handed pitching. And he lines this one. Overcomes Peterson to get it. And that's the second out.
It's almost like this Dodgers outfield has 3 center fielders in the lineup.
Well,
Peterson, yeah. Peterson played a lot of center field before Bellinger got here. Bellinger's in center, and Pollock played a lot of center field and won a Gold Glove in Arizona.
Third in St. Louis. That's Adrian Hauser pitching for the Brewers and Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals. St. Louis needs to win to stay 4 games up in the NL Central. There's Ramos swinging and missing the slider. 0-1. Ramos has been on base twice, a walk and an infield hit. Wilson's got more than his share of infield hits this year.
Well, they play so deep. Look at Seager, the shortstop. I mean, he's 6-7 steps out in the outfield grass. This is the hammer inning.
Where has that been all night, Mr. Kershaw? Yes, he has. He has saved it, and third time through the order. This is just brilliant to watch. Brilliant.
See, he's mad. He wanted to throw a dart on that outside corner. He missed the spot. Had a yell.
Two coming. And Ramos goes down on the slider, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 for Kershaw. He's got 5 strikeouts and a 4-1 lead after 6. That's Mike Soroka working on that game for Atlanta. Well, there's our empty booth. We'll be back in there tomorrow, Keith.
We'll be
back home again.
We'll be happy.
New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Citi. Citi is proud to sponsor Global Citizen Festival for the 8th consecutive year and help power the movement to end extreme poverty. Learn more at globalcitizen.org/Citi. 7th inning, Jerry's Familia starts his 2nd inning of relief. Will Smith leads off for the Dodgers. Smith is struck out and grounded out. He takes a slider low for ball 1. So Will Smith very early on in his tenure. The Mets were in LA in May. It's been up and down a couple of times, but 138 at bats and 13 home runs has earned him more playing time. And he flies this one out to left center, and over in the gap comes Lagares to get it. 1 out.
He's been up a few times, but it seems like he's up to stay now.
Well, not only that, but I think that going into the postseason, you'd have to think he'll get the majority of the playing time over Russell Martin, won't he?
Oh, absolutely. He's their #1 catcher, and every sense of the word. They love the way he throws, the way he calls a game. Remember last year they brought him up during September and the postseason to be around the coordination of the game planner, his coach.
Kershaw attempting to bunt, and looked like he offered at it, but they said no. Well, of course, they also have Austin Barnes.
Yes.
He's another terrific young player. Could play other positions beside catcher.
Again, there's going to be some real tough decisions when they go to the post.
Dave Roberts has been a big league manager for 4 years. And he's been to the postseason for 4 years. That's good, right?
It's not enough, though.
The only other manager who's taken over a team and done that was Casey Stengel. Now, but Casey Stengel, when he took over the Yankees, he won the World Series his first 5 years there. Won the World Series first 5 years.
Kind of walked into a nice little situation.
I mean, they were a good team before he got there,
but he had to handle very delicately the aging and injured Joe DiMaggio with the upcoming Mickey Mantle, and he really had to be very, what would be the word, Gary? Help me here. Diplomatic, I guess, with DiMaggio.
You know what helped Casey is that as Kershaw strikes out, he was diplomatic in his own way in that nobody could understand what he was saying, so nobody got mad at him. It helped him during his tenure with the Mets as well, especially when he was managing teams that would lose 112, 114, 120 games a season. If you keep talking long enough and nobody knows what you're saying, sometimes that works in your favor.
We do that in the games every night.
That's a good point to make. So Familia's faced 5 and retired 5, and now Jock Peterson, who was 1 for 3 tonight, and a base hit back in the 3rd. The Cy Young Showdown perhaps tomorrow night in Game 2 of this series. Your City Probables, Jacob deGrom, who is moving toward front-runner status against Hyun-Jin Ryu, who had that status until a few weeks ago, but has really struggled over his most recent starts. His ERA has gone up about a run over his last 4 starts. He's got a 9.95 ERA over that span.
He was kind of having, maybe not as dominant with the strikeout, but having the season that DeGrom had last year. Wasn't able to maintain it, though.
Well, Ryu has rarely pitched as many innings in a season as he has this year. And they've started to space out his starts more. One of the reasons the Dodgers went to a 6-man rotation for a while. But it'll be interesting to watch for you tomorrow night and see the difference, because he was almost untouchable when the Mets saw him in Los Angeles. As for DeGrom, he has gotten back to the place where he was all year last year, where you just expect routine dominance from him every time out. One-two coming to Peterson. And he taps one on the ground. That's through the vacated space and into left field. Peterson takes a hard turn and he'll stop at first base.
That was great hustle by Rosario. Great hustle.
Well, just poke it that way. You give me that. I got a lead here. I got a sinker ball pitcher out there going to pitch me away. Now look at Rosario all the way over. Look at, Rosario brings it to the ballpark every day. He hustles.
If he leaves it to J.D. Davis to make that play, it's probably a double. Instead, he holds him to a single. Now Luis Avilan out of the bullpen. We'll be right back. Luis Avilan brought in to face Max Muncy.
Struggled in his last appearance against the Phillies. Gave up a couple of runs.
Been 5 days since he last pitched in that Sunday game. Max Muncy 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Peterson at first with 2 out. 4-1 Dodgers in the 7th. Now the first pitch curveball outside to Muncy, ball 1. Avilan taking over for Jerry Familia, who looked good tonight, inning at 2/3. Gave up the 2-out single to Peterson, who just basically hit a ground ball where there was nobody playing. Avilan misses with a changeup, and it's 2-0.
It seems like, I've been noticing, Hunter Wendelstedt squats behind home plate like the old American League umpires with the chest protector that they had to hang on to. It doesn't get down low.
Well, he's make a good point, because most of the umpires we see now pick the inside of the catcher towards the hitter to get their peak of the plate, but he looks over the head of Ramos.
Right, that's the way the American League umpires used to do it, and the reason that they said that the American League was a high ball strike league and the National League was a low ball strike league. Of course, now the umpiring crews are integrated, and almost everybody sets up on the inside of the catch.
Yeah.
But
I feel that's the proper way. If you notice, when you on a low pitch, Hunter's eye angle is looking down.
Avilan behind on Muncy, 3-1. Matt Beatty, another left-hand hitter on deck. Peterson at first with 2 out. And Muncy goes after the changeup, and it's 3-1. Avilan does not give in much.
No. He's just going to throw his pitch, and you're either going to go out of the strike zone and get yourself out or not.
Now Peterson will be running. Frazier playing a step behind him. (3-2) to Muncy, and he takes the changeup for ball 4. So Avilan comes in and walks his first batter. Geico Sports Night tonight after the post game. All the football news and the baseball update and everything. New York sports on Geico Sports Night tonight and every night after the post game.
Boy, you got that memorized, Gary. Very nice.
And you said it with conviction. I believed you.
It's all about salesmanship, Keith, Now we're going to get a pinch hitter. Chris Taylor is going to bat for Matt Beatty. They get a right-hand batter in there against Avilan. Taylor bats with 2 out and 2 on, and he rockets one down the left field line. Foul. Taylor batting for Beatty, who went 0 for 3 tonight, hit 3 ground balls.
And that's hit hard into left field, a base hit. Around third and coming home is Peterson. Muncy will turn third. He'll head home, and he'll score. And now heading to third is Taylor. He arrives safely. The ball gets away, but he'll stay put. A 2-run double for Chris Taylor, and the Dodgers now lead at 6-1.
A little clinic working right here by the Dodgers.
And hustling on the double. Well, here's your overhead. Everything done properly. The cutoff now, but look at the back runner. When the throw goes home, it's a long throw home. You scoot right to third. Excellent base running. And something we didn't see the other night from a Met player on a double. There's Muncy, the back runner, scoring. And watch Taylor here. These are the little things, hustling on this double.
So Avilan has come in, a walk and a 2-run double to his first 2 hitters.
So the play's in front of you, take the turn, here comes the throw home, you're shoot. Third gear all the way. Almost, if Rosario's not backing up, he scores. Well played.
Dodgers, after 2 out and nobody on, Peterson scooted a base hit where nobody was playing. Walk to Muncy, and Taylor catches them both with a double. And now Bellinger fouls away a fastball. It's 2-2. Well, the Cardinals have put up 4 runs in the bottom of the third. Paul Goldschmidt with a grand slam, his 30th home run, accounting for the 4 runs. Walker locked it up in the Mets bullpen. Bellinger fouls one off his leg.
Boy, Bellinger does not look good up at the plate at all.
Dodgers haven't needed him so far tonight. They posted 6 runs and 7 hits. 1 run in this inning charged to Familia, the other to Avilan, who is not retired batter. Two coming, and this is going to change up. 3-2. Bellinger hits it sharply. That's through the hole for a base hit, and that'll play another run. Taylor comes in to score. Cody Bellinger with an RBI single, his 108th run batted in, and it's 7-1 LA. The Mets bullpen allowing this game to get out of hand.
Well, Bellinger right there. I said he doesn't look good at the plate. There he doesn't. I'm not going to hit a home run. I am going to get a base hit going the other way here. And there he steps in the bucket. It's pretty amazing. Not much rotation.
I remember, Gary, when you were in Los Angeles, you guys did a lot of talking about Bellinger and how he's really improved his 2-strike hitting. That was an example.
Well, Reagan out to talk to Avilan, who's faced 3 hitters and has not retired any of them. Three runs home in the inning, and it's 7-1 LA. And now Corey Seager, who's 2 for 3. Well, through this positive stretch for the Mets in the second half of the season, their starting pitching for the most part has been excellent. In fact, the Mets came into the day with the best starters ERA of any staff in the major leagues since the All-Star break, 3.06. But on days when the starter can't get deep, or days when Lugo and Wilson aren't available late in games, the Mets have shown their greatest vulnerability.
Yeah, their formula somehow is to get the ball deep with the starters too, Lugo or Wilson. It's not been the case tonight.
And Mickey Callaway, because the Mets had blowout wins the last 2 days, was able to save his top 2 relievers, have them ready to go in this series. But in order to get them to the game, your starter has to get deep, and you have to have a lead. But you're playing the best team in the National League, and it's shown tonight.
40 games over 500. 19.5 game lead.
Which, if it stands, will be the largest division or National League bulge for the Dodgers in any year where they've won the league or the division. And that covers a lot of history. Avilon trying to put this inning to bed. 1-2 to Seager. First to check in on Bellinger. He's got 12 steals this year. Coming to Seager, and he struck him out with a changeup, and the inning finally comes to an end. But not before the Dodgers add 3 runs and lead 7-1 at the 7th inning stretch.
My name, I can't wait another day. I make this better place so. Oh, I'm waiting out your front door, 'cause I'm dying without your love.
Well, Clayton Kershaw against the New York Mets has generally been a winning proposition for Kershaw, not for the Mets, and so it has been so far tonight. Chris Taylor in to play third, now moving over to the right side of the infield, try and keep track. He pinch hit, drove in a couple of runs, stays in the game. Robinson Cano leading off the home 7th and tried to not offer at that curveball in the dirt and somehow held the swing. 1-1.
Kershaw jumped off the ground like I can't believe. I mean, how can you not call that a swinging strike? Watch the jump.
The double point.
Like, come on, that's a swing, right? What? Come on.
You know, there was a lefty who wore number 22 who pitched in Flushing for a while, who was pretty emotional like that. Muncy knocks it down, recovers, and retires Cano 1 out. Right? I mean, it's a little like Leonard, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Jump around and express his emotions on the mound. Kershaw seems like he's doing that more now than he did earlier in his career.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a little more of a fight for him now, you know, to be as excellent as he's always been. He's probably lost, what, 4 or 5 miles an hour on his fastball, but you couldn't tell it by his performance.
88 pitches tonight. He hasn't thrown more than 101 in a game this year. Todd Frazier lofts one down the left field line, and it hooks and goes foul. 2014 was the pinnacle of Kershaw's career.
His whip that year, 0.85, Gary. I mean, wow.
By the way, Verlander this year better than that.
Yeah, Verlander's also a guy that won a Cy Young and MVP in the same year. That was 2011. The rare changeup there from Kershaw.
Throws like one of those a game.
Just because he's bored. You know, with all the openers and bullpen games, still when you see a marquee name like Kershaw show up, you want to go to the game. Check it out.
The Mets have one of those every 5 days. He'll be pitching tomorrow night.
Yes, he will.
Hope you can tune in.
I'm going to tune in on the train.
Can you get the game on the train?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a picks game, you know.
I have my ways, Gary.
Okay. Topped up the third baseline, and that'll go foul.
That's box score presented by Citi. J.D. Davis got the Mets off to a fast start. Homered, second batter in the first inning. And nothing after that. A couple of hits for Ramos and Cano in the fourth, and since then Kershaw's retired 9 in a row. Meantime, the Dodgers with 4 runs in the fourth and 3 in the seventh to build this 7-1 lead. 2-2 to Frazier. We've gone to the 8th in Washington. Braves 4, Nationals nothing. Mike Soroka working on a gem. That's hit hard into center field, a base hit for Frazier. So the Mets have just their 4th hit of the night after Kershaw had retired 9 in a row. A 1-out single for Frazier.
Curveball. There's Todd letting go that one hand again, and he has that knack.
So now Michael Conforto, who hit the ball hard his last time up, with 2 out and 2 on in the fourth. He lined out to Bellinger in center field.
It'll be interesting to see as Conforto's career plays out. If against left-handed pitching he'll ever be to the point where he's not hitting 6th or 7th or 8th. Not 8th. He doesn't hit 8th, but.
There's Joe Kelly up in the bullpen for the Dodgers. As Kershaw moves toward 100 pitches for the night. Sells high, and that's a sign that he might be hitting the end of the road.
Yeah, didn't have that sharp cut on it.
Two to Conforto. Juan Lagares on deck. Two coming, and that's fouled at the plate. It'll be interesting when the Dodgers get to the postseason, how they set up their rotation. They've got a budding ace in Walker Buehler. They have a Cy Young candidate this year in Ryu. And then there's Kershaw, who's been not great in the postseason.
Not great in the post. Hasn't been great the last 3 starts, although he's pulled it together here, and he's having a great night. He's had some signature games in the postseason, but he hasn't had the consistency.
Got to Conforto. It's going to be interesting, right? I mean, who gets that game 1, that 1 and 5 in the division series, the big starts. Is it Buehler? Is it Ryu? Is it Kershaw?
I think it'll be all the analytics and matchups.
Here's Alonso getting ready for a pinch hitting assignment. That's ball 4, and Conforto's on with a walk. So this might be the end of the road for Kershaw tonight. 101. That equals his largest pitch count of the season. Second walk of the night. And now Alonso will bat for Lagares.
There's Rick Honeycutt chewing that gum, the pitching coach.
This should necessitate a move from Roberts, huh? I would think.
So Alonso, who had started every game for about a month and a half, finally got a night off tonight and called upon to pinch hit. He's only had 6 plate appearances as a pinch hitter in his rookie season. His 1 hit was a 3-run homer against Derek Holland of the Giants. Joe Kelly ready in the bullpen, but it appears as though with a 7-1 lead, Dave Roberts going to stick with Kershaw in this spot.
Interesting.
Frazier at second, Conforto at first with 1 out. Alonso 1 for 3 against Kershaw. And he gets a slider low and in for ball 1.
As great as Kershaw is, I'm surprised personally that he's still in the game.
Me too.
Hasn't pitched in a week, so maybe that has something to do with it. Giving him a few extra pitches. And he misses to Alonso, and it's 2-0.
You were talking about the postseason. You think there's any scenario where in the postseason Kershaw would still be in this game? I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, right.
But this isn't the postseason. This is experimentation time for Dave Roberts. You look at his lineup, his defensive configurations. He's trying to figure stuff out. This may be one of those things. And now he's behind through a 2-0 slider and missed with it.
I just think that Kershaw's finished. He's done. He's pooped.
Brandon Nimmo is out on deck to pinch hit. Let's have other right-handed bats, but Nimmo's hit lefties very well this year, so he's on deck. 3-0 to Alonso with 2 on, and that's high ball 4. Now the bases are loaded, and that almost certainly will be the end for Kershaw. So Dave Roberts gave him one more batter, had him face Alonso, but Kershaw's issued back-to-back walks, highest pitch count of the season now for Kershaw. And now Jed Lowry replaces Brandon Nimmo in the on-deck circle. And Dave Roberts waiting for Lowry to be announced into the game. And now he's going to come out and make his pitching change. So Lowry will bat with the bases loaded, looking for his first hit as a Met. Joe Kelly will come on to face him. Kershaw will leave with a 7-1 lead in the 7th. We'll be right back to Citi Field. Joe Kelly, who pitched against the Dodgers in the World Series last year, got off to a rough start, but he's been really good lately.
Yeah, since May 8th, he's 4-1, 48 strikeouts in 36 innings. He's back to that dominant. He could throw 100 miles an hour, Joe Kelly.
Well, Lowry was announced as the pinch hitter with Kershaw in the game, but with the right-hander coming in, Brandon Nimmo will bat for Lowry. With the bases loaded and 1 out, the Mets trying to get back in this game down 7-1. Nimmo had the day off yesterday after homering and picking up a couple of hits in the game on Wednesday. Frazier at third, Conforto at second, Alonso at first with 1 out.
Nimmo been first strike swinging. Oh, drop. Good slider right there, first pitch.
Curveball in for a strike, and it's 0-2. Sharp. Joe Kelly can dial it up to 99, but he's dropped a couple of breaking balls in on Nimmo, and now Brandon's got to fight his way out. Kershaw out after 6 1/3 and 105 pitches. Interested in the 3 runners aboard that are all his responsibility. Nimmo grounds one back to Kelly, turning to fire home, and he gets the force there. Didn't have to do that with a 7-1 lead, but he made a nice play to get the second out.
I've never seen that. And the Kershaw loves it. That's one of his runs.
Well, Kelly is a fantastic athlete, and you see it there.
And so many pitchers might throw that ball away, but he threw a strike. And they force Frazier at the plate for the second out.
And now the inning left to Ahmed Rosario. He grounded out all 3 times up against Kershaw. Bases loaded, 2 out. Conforto now at third. Alonso at second. And Nimmo at first. Nimmo, by the way, now 1 for 8 in his career with the bases loaded. And Rosario takes inside, ball 1.
Kelly has appeared in 25 games in his career in the postseason.
Rosario has a base hit and is only at bat against Kelly. When the Mets saw Kelly in L.A. in May, he still was not in form. Chopper, foul, and it's 0-2.
It's like he had the championship hangover as far as his pitching was concerned, and once he got it right, he's been good since early May.
Check the count 1-1 to Rosario. Yeah, except that the guys around him didn't win the championship.
That's right.
They brought him in because he helped deny them the championship. He was great in the postseason for Boston last year. 31-year-old right-hander. 1-1 to Rosario with the bases full. And Ahmed takes up and in. 2-1.
6 innings against the Dodgers in the World Series. 4 hits, no walks, 10 punch-outs.
That's good, right?
Yes, it is.
Rosario has one of the Mets' 5 grand slams this year. He hit one against Miami back in May. On 2-1, he slams no foul. And it's 2-2. Has given up 6 home runs this year. He's also thrown 10 wild pitches, but again, a lot of that came early in the season. Conforto at third, Alonso at second, Nimmo at first with 2 out. 2-2 coming to Rosario. And Ahmed grounds one toward the middle, base hit. That'll bring in Conforto. Everybody else moves up a base. An RBI single for Rosario makes it 7-2.
Well, Ahmed, outstanding hitting. He's hit so many balls up the middle this year. Hanging slider.
And a good call by Gary DiStarcina to stop Alonso at third. Bellinger threw a strike to the plate. You know what he's capable of.
Yep.
Oh, you're down 7-1.
I mean, normally with 2 out, it's a no-brainer, right?
Not against Bellinger. I mean, perfect strike.
So now it's a 5-run game. And J.D. Davis, who accounted for the first Met run with a first-inning home run, will get a crack. Alonso now at third, Nimmo at second, and Rosario at first. 61st RBI, by the way, for Ahmed. Davis's home run was his 19th of the season.
This becomes a very big out for the Dodgers here.
And a fastball from Kelly for a strike.
Seems like Kelly, Ronnie, with the bases loaded, he's a little leery of throwing that real hard slider. He's afraid of throwing a wild pitch.
2-2 count, too. You know, he didn't want to go to 3-2.
J.D. 0 for 4 in his career against Kelly. J.D. grounds one near the bag. And the running toss in time from Lux to retire the side. Let's get just the 1 run and trail 7-2 after 7. LA Mets might have gotten another run on a 2-out hit, but for the fear of Cody Bellinger.
Well, he's got the great arm. Look how he cuts the distance down. He charged so beautifully. And that makes the lesser of the distance of the throw, and with his arm, he's able to hit it on a fly. But that whole play to me was made by him charging that ball hard like he did and stop that at second run from scoring.
Walker Lockett will pitch the 8th inning for the Mets. Plenty of defensive changes behind him. Pete Alonso stays in the game at first. Todd Frazier moves from first to third. McNeil moves from third to left. Nimmo, who pinches, stays in center field behind Lockett.
Lockett, who pitched 6 days ago against the Phillies, had a perfect 2 innings with 3 strikeouts.
Worked as a starter for the Mets earlier this year, and now getting a chance to work out of the bullpen in September. A.J. Pollock, first man up against him in the top of the 8th. Pollock drove in the first Dodger run with a base hit up the middle of the 4th, and he goes after the first pitch here and lines one to Nimmo in center, and that's the first out. 1 pitch, 1 retired on 1 hard hit ball by Walker Lockett. And now Gavin Lux, who has the biggest hit in this game. After Pollock's hit tied it in the 4th, Lux on a 3-2 pitch drove one over the orange line in center field for a 3-run homer off Noah Syndergaard, his 2nd big league home run to put the Dodgers up 4-1, and they've been up ever since. Lux is 1 for 3 on the night. Takes a changeup outside from Lockett for ball 1. Tonight's starters brought to you by People's United Bank. Syndergaard had the 1 bad inning in the 4th that cost him. Kershaw, off a 3-game losing streak, turned in a much better outing tonight. That's bullpen got tagged for 3 runs in the 7th. 1 charge to Familia, 2 charge to Avilan. And now Lockett working in the 8th. 2-1 to Lux, and he grounds one past the mound. Rosario with a nice stop, but he can't get the handle, and Lux is safe at first. He was trying to do the sit spin, but it came out, and no chance for Rosario there.
When he gets to the ball, he had it in the heel of his glove.
So it's an infield hit for Lux, his 2nd hit of the night. And now Will Smith, the number 8 hitter. Smith has gone 0 for 3, struck out, grounded out, flied out. And he grounds one down foul outside third. Edwin Rios is out on deck to pinch hit for the Dodgers. That's hit hard and caught by Frazier. Throw back to first, not in time. A bullet off the bat of Will Smith for the 2nd out, and Lux just able to get the hand back in.
Right at him.
Look, Frazier either he caught it in the lights for a second, or it had a lot of movement back to his throwing hand.
Had a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Nothing that low is going to get in the lights.
Just hooked, huh?
Yep. Those ones hook back into your body. Your face is there. It'll get your attention.
Now Edwin Rios, 25-year-old rookie, 36 big league at bats, hitting .278 with 2 home runs. Rios out of Florida International. 31 home runs for Oklahoma City this summer.
Oh, they were hitting home runs like hotcakes in AAA this year, weren't they, Gary?
Grounded down at first and just foul. Alonso trying to pick it on the short hop, and fortunately for him and the Mets, it was a foul ball. first base umpire right on top of it to rule it a foul ball. They say AAA home runs were up 57% this year from last year.
Didn't they use a different ball, Garrett?
They used the big league ball for the first time. Now, big league home runs were only up 22%, so that'll tell you how dead the AAA ball was compared to the big league ball last year. Before they livened the ball up for both parties this year.
And don't forget, in AAA, there's a lot of guys that aren't major league pitchers in AAA. You know, they're not even going to get a cup of coffee.
I don't know how they can have enough depth at AAA with all the pitchers you have in the major leagues.
2-2 to Rios, and he fouls one away. Well, here's an example of how many pitchers are used in the big leagues. Last night, former Met prospect Justin Dunn made his big league debut for Seattle. Didn't go very well, 5 walks in 2/3 of an inning. But the Mariners have now used 42 pitchers this year.
Wow.
Think about that. That's turning your pitching staff over 3 times over the course of a season. 42 pitchers. It's a big league record. Rios flies one deep to left field. Back goes McNeil. Back at the wall. Leaping, but it's out of here. Edwin Rios with a 2-run homer. His 3rd big league home run. And the Dodgers extend their lead to 9-2. Dodgers can bring up some hitters, can't they?
I mean,
31 home runs in AAA this year, now 3 in the big leagues.
He got under this one big time.
I'll tell you though, they have a system, because it seems like every left-handed hitter that comes up, other than maybe Seager, has like that same approach. Hit it to all fields, large upswing with the follow through.
Rios, the big kid, 6'3", 220, and he showed off his power. Dodgers' 2nd home run of the night, and they both come with men on base, and they have both been damaging. Jock Peterson's 2 for 5 tonight, and he grounds one to the right side, cut off by Rosario, and he throws him out to end the inning. But Rios' 2-run pinch hit home run extends the Dodger lead to 9-2 going to the bottom of the 8th. And our location here in the Citi Pavilion. People seem to have a really good time at the ball.
They do. There's so much to do.
So much to eat and drink.
It'd be better if the score was turned upside down, but
it's like the county fair.
I tell you something, we have learned one thing here tonight. As you look at the Dodgers and their 7th straight division titles, only outdone by the Braves and Yankees of the 90s and 2000s. One thing I've learned tonight, the fried chicken bites from Fuku are just fantastic. I had not had them before, and they were out of this world.
They're good. Very good.
I mean, normally we pick at the food that they bring for us when we have these outdoor locations. Tonight, it's all gone.
We scarfed it down, didn't we?
All gone.
What borough do they have the county fair here, Keith?
I'll say World's Fair then. Have it all over again.
Casey Sadler in to pitch in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Jeff McNeil swings over the changeup. Nothing in one.
Sadler was acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays in the early part of July, and has become a big piece of that bullpen.
McNeil, Ramos, and Cano for the Mets in the home 8th. Good curveball by Sadler, and it's 0-2. Clayton Kershaw went 6 1/3, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Joe Kelly finished up that 7th, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit. And now Sadler, with the Dodgers having established a 7-run lead, works in the 8th. Rolled over down to first. An easy play for Muncy for the first out. So with all these games of tremendous importance for the Mets, if they have any hope of getting to the wild card. Tomorrow becomes a huge start for Jacob deGrom.
Yeah.
If the Mets cannot rally in their final 5 outs in this game, with the Cubs having already posted a win tonight, Mets are in danger of being 3 games out of the wild card with 15 to play when tomorrow dawns.
You have to stay around that 2 mark before, or try to get back to that 2 mark by the time you go to Colorado.
That's why this series is so important. You're playing a Dodger team that just rolls over people, and you just can't afford to get swept. That's hit hard by Ramos. And Taylor with a high throw, but Muncy with time to come down in the bag for the 2nd out. You know, if you lose 2 out of 3, that's bad, but it's not fatal. You lose 3, and while the Cubs are sweeping the Pirates, which is perfectly possible, now you're 5 out, and you're basically done.
Yeah, and erases all that good work you did against the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Here's Cano with 2 out. So huge start for deGrom tomorrow. The Mets were able to win with deGrom on the mound his last time out against the Diamondbacks. That was big. He pitched a gem. Got good bullpen help behind him. It's got just enough offense. Turned foul by Cano, 0-1. After this series, the Mets have their final road trip, 3 in Colorado, 3 in Cincinnati, and then back home for the final 7. 4 with Miami and 3 with Atlanta.
Well, Colorado's been struggling. Miami's had a terrible year, but Cincinnati is a little scary team.
It does appear as though the Mets will miss Luis Castillo in Cincinnati, and that's big because he can shut you out. Good curveball by Sadler, and it's 0-2.
You know, you guys talked about the Dodger hitters that come up. Dodgers always bring up pitchers too.
They
you
do.
know, this kid's got a good breaking ball. Got good stuff.
Well, he's the guy that got traded just in July.
I mean, they know how to find pitching.
Yep. Sadler started out with the Pirates, then went to Tampa Bay, and he has been an increasingly important piece for the Dodgers.
I remember when I was a young player, the Dodgers used to do it a little differently. Their bullpen would be filled with starting pitching that would learn their craft in the bullpen and then come out after a couple seasons.
Ramon Martinez started that way. So did Pedro.
Alejandro Pena. Bobby Welch, remember those World Series games against Reggie Jackson? Dave Stewart.
Cano's gone 1 for 3 tonight. He takes a curveball on the dirt, 2-2. Dodger blue glove.
It's good looking.
Tommy Lasorda would be a fan. Everything blue. Tommy was there in Baltimore when the Dodgers celebrated their division title.
Won the division on September 10th. 147 games into the season.
Full count to Cano. Frazier would be next. Three-2 coming to Cano, and he fouls it away.
Watch how Sadler wraps this breaking ball. I mean, look at his wrist and his forearm. His elbow leads, and then the fingers extend through the baseball to make it spin.
Just the way he learned it at Western Oklahoma State College.
Very nice. It's amazing the facts you know, Gary.
Yeah, that's a great thing, Ryan. Cano keeps the at-bat alive. Do you know where Western Oklahoma State College is?
Western Oklahoma?
In Altus, Oklahoma.
Altus?
Altus. Andrelton Simmons went to Western Oklahoma State College.
Really?
So it must be a baseball is big there.
It's out there in the plains, Western Oklahoma. That's flat country.
Not much to do except play baseball.
do a little harvesting.
8th pitch to Cano, and the curveball hit in the air to left center field. Back in the gap goes Bellinger to get it, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 for Casey Sadler in the bottom of the 8th. On to the 9th. 9-2 LA. It'll be soon enough, Gary. Soon enough. Watch Mets games on the go on any device. Just visit SNY.TV or download the NBC Sports app today for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. We go to the top of the 9th. Tomas Nido now catching in the 9th inning. Max Muncy leads off against Walker Lockett. He gave up a 2-run homer to Edwin Rios in the 8th. Stays on to pitch the 9th. Muncy in his first game back from the injured list has walked twice and scored a run, otherwise 0 for 2. Gets the fastball in for a strike. 1-2. Chris Taylor on deck, then Cody Bellinger in the 9th. One-two coming to Muncy, and he missed with off-speed pitch. 2-2.
Muncy has a great eye at the plate too.
Skips out of the way of that one. And it's 3-2. Chris Taylor, who had a big hit in this game, a 2-run double in the 7th that stretched the Dodgers lead. Came against Luis Avilan as a pinch hitter, and then Taylor stayed in. And Muncy shoots a hot shot at short. That's Frazier playing in a shortstop position. So that's a 5-3 putout for the first out. SNY Super Slow Motion brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. Now Taylor, who had the 2-run double in the 7th, will turn a 4-1 game into a 6-1 game. And the Mets have been fighting a large uphill fight ever since. Taylor flies one out to right, chasing Conforto back onto the warning track to make the catch. Just below and to our left. It's the best view we've had of him play all night.
Yes.
First ball hit out Conforto's way in quite some time. Thanks, Mike. Here's Cody Bellinger. Bellinger has an RBI single tonight and a walk. 1 for 3. Now has 108 runs batted in. And he takes a fastball strike from Lockett. In the bottom of the 9th, the Mets will be due to send up Frazier, Conforto, and Alonso. Bellinger taps one back to Lockett.
Run.
Makes the play, but not in time. A little lollipop throw by Lockett, not enough to get the sprinting Bellinger. In a 9-2 game with 2 out in the top of the 9th, Bellinger running full speed out of the box, and he beat Lockett's soft toss.
He totally got tied up. He turns it on right there.
He said if I mean, you could sense going down the first base line. Boy, that's bang bang, isn't it?
Mets are going to challenge the call.
He was running down to first, and as soon as he saw that Lockett didn't have a sense of urgency, that's when he turned it on.
If you're not going to rush,
yeah,
I will.
Exactly, Gary.
Oh.
Looks like he might be out.
Yep.
Whether he's out or safe, we're talking about a guy who's going to be the MVP probably this year with 2 outs in the 9th, sprinting down the first base line. That's something.
Well, that could help you be the MVP.
Yeah, right.
First base umpire Ben May called him safe. And now Bill Miller and Jeff Nelson are the crew chiefs in the replay center trying to parse whether indeed he was. And we wait. We need, like, you know the music they play in Final Jeopardy?
Yeah.
We need that music. We might need a longer version because that's only 30 seconds.
Okay, yeah.
Because, you know, there are times when you might have to play that theme of 4 or 5 times.
How about the music that Larry David uses in Curb Your Enthusiasm? That might be good.
That's pretty good. Or just the, you know, the circus music.
Yeah. That.
Here we go.
Here we go. So the call stands. Bellinger has his second hit, and Lockett has a little bit of egg on his face.
Little hustle hit.
So Pete, when you win Rookie of the Year, you got to go to the baseball writers' dinner. They'll give you the award there.
No, I got 47. You got 44. How about that?
Yeah.
Now Corey Seager has got 2 hits tonight. He's scored a run, 2 for 4. So Lockett with at least one more batter to face. And Seager fouls one back. Noah Syndergaard started, allowed 4 runs and 5 hits over 5 innings. Jerry Familia an inning and 2/3, 1 run, 1 hit. Luis Avila a third of an inning, 2 runs, 2 hits, and now Lockett 2 runs and 3 hits over an inning, 2/3. Seager pops one up in foul ground. Frazier has a play, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th at Citi Field. It's down by 7. Coors Light refreshing finish. Josh Sborz will try and get the final 3 outs for the Dodgers.
Sorry, Gary, I can't help you. I'm signing a T-shirt here. Keith,
that's what we're here for. We're out amongst the crowd.
Oh, it's these different faces of the Mets, huh? These are actually kind of nice shirts, I thought.
Nice. Emojis, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do one where the 2 hearts are.
Of course you are.
Are you an emoji guy, Keith, when you text?
No, but I do have the emoji where it's actually me, kind of a caricature of me. I kind of like those.
Many images on Keith's phone, most of which you really don't want to see. Here's the Todd Frazier lead off in the bottom of the 9th. Todd is 1 for 3 today at a base hit back in the 7th. Mets had their chance to mount a comeback in the 7th. They got a run in to make it 7-2, but left the bases loaded. And the Dodgers now 3 outs away from taking the opening game of this series, trying to win their 9th straight game at Citi Field.
Streak that started in 2016.
It was the revenge streak after the Mets beat the Dodgers in the postseason in 15. Frazier, Conforto, and Alonso for the Mets in the 9th. And Todd flies one out to deep right center, and Peterson back to get it. And that's the first out. Can't tell left from right. We're looking in the wrong direction.
If the Dodgers hold on, which they should, since 2012 in this ballpark, they'll be 18-5.
Now Conforto's 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Josh Sborz out of the University of Virginia, 2nd round pick by the Dodgers in 15. Just his 5th big league appearance. Shrug of the shoulders and the pitch, and the curveball misses for ball 1. Clayton Kershaw went 6 1/3, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits. He is primed to go 10-0 for his career against the Mets. And become only the 2nd pitcher since the 1960s to win his first 10 decisions against the Mets, and doing it with a 2.19 ERA against the Mets.
Nice hook.
That's a good hammer. Both Sadler, previous inning, and now Spores. Straight over the top.
That's a good one.
He's going to get it again.
Why not? Fastball fouled off.
Look at the shoulder tilt, just peeking with one eye over his left shoulder. Gets right on top of it. I don't know who's teaching him how to spin the ball over there, but they all do. Rick Honeycutt, who's their pitching coach, was an ex-teammate of mine, and he always had a great slider when he pitched.
Hard sinker.
Yep.
And he had a nice razor blade in his glove somewhere too. he used to doctor that ball.
So you're saying it was a true razor blade slider?
Oh, he had something somewhere, emery board or something.
Honey, that's Keith, not me.
But he could pitch. He was a great competitor,
yep.
Ronnie.
Yeah, Saboris strikes out Conforto, and Mets are down to their final out of the night.
There's that breaking ball. Straight downer. You usually don't see a breaking ball from a righty make Conforto have him so far out in front, but he was.
Now Pete Alonso up for the second time. He was the last man Kershaw faced. He walked him on 4 pitches as a pinch hitter in the 7th. And now Pete getting his second plate appearance of the night. Trying to snap an 0 for 13 stretch. And he takes a strike. He got most of the night off tonight. Got to meet the guy whose record he broke. Todd Hundley in the ballpark tonight. And primed and ready to face Hyun-Jin Ryu tomorrow. And the curveball fouled off. And the Mets are down to their final strength. Sorry, Jerry. Brewers are still down 4-0 to the Cardinals in the 6th. Cubs won this afternoon. The Nats got shut out by the Braves tonight. Mike Soroka 5-0 Atlanta. So their magic number is down to 6 for clinching the East. Alonso takes the breaking ball off the plate, 1-2.
Soroka improves to 12-4. His ERA is about 2.5, and he's not going to come close in the Rookie of the Year.
He'll finish second.
Yeah.
To Alonso in all probability. One-two coming. And Alonso takes the fastball. Just missed. 2-2.
So you think it'll be Alonso, Soroka, and Tatis Jr.?
I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Reynolds could sneak in there.
That's true.
He's had a very good year for the Pirates.
Paddock will be in the top 10 maybe.
Not enough innings really to be higher than that. Would you like to share with the class, Keith?
No, I'm sorry. I was talking to our producer.
Did he make you laugh?
He made me laugh.
Somebody made him laugh.
It was a giggle.
It was a laugh. Pete trying to hang in there, 2-2. And breaking ball up and in, full count. Twins and Indians got rained out tonight after we played a couple of innings. That's a big series. The final meetings between the Twins and Indians. 3.5 game lead for Minnesota in the AL Central. 3-2 coming, and Alonso takes inside ball 4, and this game continues on. So Pete's had 2 plate appearances tonight, walked both times, and now Brandon Nimmo will get another turn. Nimmo came up with the bases loaded as a pinch hitter in the 7th and hit a ground ball back to Joe Kelly, who did a nice job getting a force at the plate. Josh Saboris trying to put on the finishing touches for LA. And Nimmo takes up and away ball 1. Saboris was ahead on Alonso 0-2, lost him to a walk. Can't pitch around the strike zone to Nimmo.
No.
We'll wait you out. Doesn't matter what the score is, what inning it is. Ahmed Rosario would be next. And Brandon takes a strike, 1-1. The Diamondbacks have gone home after getting swept. Playing the Reds tonight. Joey Votto a home run against Mike Leake. 2-0 Cincinnati in the fourth. Diamondbacks fell a game and a half behind the Mets and Phillies with their 4-game losses here. And once again the Mets are down to their last strike. 1-2 to Nimmo. th pitch of the inning upcoming for Sabores. And Nimmo takes one just off the plate. It's 2-2.
Tim's Cup.
Under Weddlestead in no rush.
Oh, neither am I. I just thought it was a strike. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever.
2-2 coming. And he fouls it away. Nimmo waiting on a 2-2. And the breaking ball fouled off. Sabores retired the first 2 batters. A walk to Alonso, and now about to throw the 7th pitch to Nimmo. And Brandon takes a curveball inside. It's 3-2. Not that easy to finish off a big league game. The dancing has begun. Alonso gets set to run. 3-2 coming to Nimmo. And he lifts one to left field. Back toward the corner goes Pollock. He puts it away, and the Dodgers have taken the opening game of this series as the Mets' 4-game winning streak comes to an end. 3-run homer by Gavin Lux, the big blow. Clayton Kershaw goes to 10-0 lifetime against the Mets, and the Mets fall 3 games back in the National League wildcard race with 15 to play as LA wins this game 9-2.
Well, Syndergaard had to be better going up against Kershaw. 2 iffy starts now in a row, both 4 runs given up in 5 innings.
And the Dodgers come to town and show you why they are blowing the National League away. They get it from 2 youngsters, Lux and Rios. 5 runs driven in, 2 home runs amongst the 2 of them.
96 wins now for the Dodgers as they go to 43 games over 500, and the Mets take a blow in their wild card hopes. Game summary brought to you by Citi as LA wins this game 9-2, and Kershaw snaps his personal 3-game losing streak. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Empire City Casino. Win big, Empire City Casino. Game on. By Aetna Medicare Solutions, Medicare that takes a total approach to health and wellness. By Nordstrom Rack, it's fashion at a fraction. By Geico, the #1 insurer in the New York market. And by Citi, the proud presenting partner of Global Citizen Festival. Citi, welcome what's next. Final score tonight, the Dodgers 9, the Mets 2. Game 2 of this series tomorrow night on Pix 11. Jacob deGrom goes for the Mets. Hyun-Jin Ryu pitches for the Dodgers. Coverage on Pix 11 begins tomorrow night at 6:30. Our next SNY telecast Monday from Colorado when the Mets open their series with the Rockies. Coverage begins Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Now for Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Steve Gelbs, and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Cohen at Citi Field. Time for WB Mason postgame live. Let's join Gary Apple and Todd Zeal in the studio, guys.